as they face arrest. The government said help won't be sent underground to alleged criminals, despite unconfirmed reports of deaths and illness among those still beneath the surface.
The BBC's Namsa Maseko. The Japanese Army's fleet of hybrid helicopter aircraft, the V-22 Osprey, has been cleared to resume operations, was grounded following an accident during a training mission last month. News and analysis, townhall.com. The Supreme Court seems likely to preserve a class action suit accusing NVIDIA of misleading investors about its dependence on selling computer chips for cryptocurrency mining.
The justices heard arguments in the tech company's appeal of a lower court ruling allowing a 2018 suit led by a Swedish investment management firm to continue. It's one of two high court cases involving class action lawsuits against tech companies. Last week, the justices wrestled with whether to shut down a multi-billion-dollar class action investors' lawsuit against Facebook parent Meta, stemming from the privacy scandal involving the Cambridge Analytica political consulting firm. NVIDIA is among the most valuable companies in the S&P 500, worth over $3 trillion. Jeremy House, Washington.
The government reporting a slight increase in wholesale prices last month, showing that inflation's still very much with us. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Thursday, everybody.
Yes.
Busy day?
Indeed. Busy week.
Yeah. Today is the start of volleyball state playoffs.
Yep.
So we will have playoff volleyball action for you. Good hunk of today on the radio. Yeah. We're beginning at 10 o'clock this morning. Probably about 10 minutes before that. Probably we're going to end the show probably about 10 minutes short here today. We will have Goddard Rocket Volleyball. They'll start their first round of playoffs at 10 o'clock this morning. Then at noon, Roswell will play their first round. If they both win, well, if Goddard wins, they play at 4 o'clock today.
Right.
If Roswell wins, they play at 6. If Goddard loses today, they will play again tomorrow at 10, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
If Roswell loses today, they will play at noon tomorrow. So that's double elimination. If they win today, both games, then they will play again, I believe, at 10 tomorrow.
Yes.
Or noon tomorrow. Either way.
At a time tomorrow, yes.
Yeah. And so we'll have all of that for you. But first, we got to play these first 2 games to determine what happens after that. So
yes,
we will definitely have playoff volleyball for you at 10 o'clock and at noon today. Past that will be determined by the outcomes of the game.
Right. So. And if no winner can be determined, a pinochle tournament will happen on Monday.
Yes.
And we'll carry that as well.
Yes. And then, of course, we will have football for you tomorrow night as the Coyotes are in action. Taking on Highland. We'll have that game for you right here on 106.5.
You remembered.
I did. And live streaming video, of course, ksvptv.com and the Roswell Coyote channel there. We do have a full slate for you today. Matter of fact, here's the deal. Since we're playing so many volleyball games today, we have people that purchase ads and they lay there. But since
here's how radio works, kids.
So here's the deal. Since we've got so much inventory being covered up by volleyball, my breaks are like 4 or 5 minutes long each. So I'm going to keep my banter short today to get to some of our interviews and things that we have.
Sorry, guys. I know. This is what we tune in for, but sorry, guys.
And we're going to probably get cut short with volleyball here in the 9 o'clock hour. So just be warned. I'm trying to be efficient this morning.
This is what happens when inefficiency meets efficiency. We're like, oh, I guess, fine.
Right.
Do our best, but
I do want to mention this real quick before I do the show and everything. You'd mentioned a sandwich that I would try, but I've been the last 2 days, I've been scrolling through social medias, and I've seen this at least a half dozen times now, and I don't know. There's a thing right now where people are eating peanut butter and pickle sandwiches.
Now, I will say, I have tried on a TikTok that I saw peanut butter and mayonnaise, and I was pleasantly surprised. It's actually a really good peanut butter goes well with savory ingredients because it's just the peanut essence of it.
Sure, it's very semi-savory to it,
like a Thai food.
Yeah.
So I can imagine. Actually, that sounds kind of nice.
I would try it, but I'm not too appealed by it. And you pull back the curtain. I'm not a fan of pad thai. I don't like that peanutiness in that. Okay. It doesn't taste good to me. Well, and I like nuts, and I eat, but in pad thai. And that peanut buttery taste with the meat is not appealing to me.
Now, it was a popular thing a couple months ago, but it sort of recently made a re-comeback. Would you try the pickle Dr. Pepper?
That's a drink. I have a real issue with drinks.
But people swear by it. People say that it's like, how it's a Southern tradition to put peanuts into a Coke.
Yeah, and I wasn't down with that either. So
it's sort of that combination of the sweet and savory. Plus, then you got a soda coated pickle at the end of it. Well, I think
the peanuts and the Coke are the same people that salt their beers. To get the head down and all that kind of thing.
You don't salt. You're like a Corona.
I don't drink Corona because it gives me headaches.
Really?
But I generally don't salt beers. No.
Okay.
To be honest, only people I ever see put salt in beers and peanuts and Cokes are my grandparents.
Well, I like a nice like a beer salt in a Corona with lime. Yeah, that's nice.
Well, that's a tradition.
That sort of like combines the flavors to it binds them together.
I've just never been my thing. I'm not that kind of guy.
Fair.
And to be honest, when it comes to drinks, I'm not as adventurous. When it comes to
see, that's where I do get adventurous. Like I'm willing to try weird stuff if it's in liquid form. Like I watched a guy synthesize nacho cheese, Doritos nacho cheese, and turn it into a soda.
I think I've just drank too many Thanksgiving turkey Jones sodas till I'm like, I don't want.
You've been in radio for so long,
like, it all just blends together. It's gross to me at this point. I like my Coke Zero, I like my iced tea, I like my water. And that's pretty much my world.
It's so funny though. Every time I see, like this happened too about a couple weeks ago when I was in Las Cruces.
Yeah.
We were at the Cracker Barrel, and in the Cracker Barrel general store, they had this selection of sodas, and I just see like the bottle tops. I'm like, oh, I have to go over there. I have to go look. And it wasn't like anything weird.
Sure.
But like I got a maraschino cherry soda and a huckleberry soda.
Yeah. See now that. I'm okay with some of that to try and all that, but I just been hit with too many green bean casserole sodas and mashed potato sodas.
You've had your taste buds assaulted too much.
I drank too many juices and teas that got things floating in it. Just this is all gross to me.
Meanwhile, I'm just a glutton for punishment, or just a glutton. It could be one of those.
But when it comes to food, it's a different thing to me. Something about drink. I guess I'm just more grossed out by liquid and flavors than I am solid. Like maybe I don't know.
I'm exact opposite. By the way, for reference, the sandwich that I had mentioned off air was called the Coagulator. I'll make it quick. It's a tuna melt that is deep fried in funnel cake batter with powdered sugar on top.
It's like a Monte Cristo.
But with tuna melt, yeah.
I'm down.
And it also mentions that it was fried in hot mayonnaise, which I think is just a horrible way to put anything.
But it is. But at the end of the day, mayonnaise is just oil.
Yeah, and when I watched the guy try to like make hot mayonnaise, it just the ingredients separated, and then the oil that is in the mayonnaise.
I know this sounds gross, but I've had it. It's quite delicious. Instead of like your butters and stuff, when you make a chocolate cake, use mayonnaise.
Oh yeah,
it really does taste good.
It's a fantastic swap out for both eggs and for any of those other the wets.
Yeah, it does. I know it sounds revolting, but it actually is pretty good. So, Let me give you the rundown.
Yes.
We're going to replay some interviews this hour with Don Weld joined us yesterday from the Alzheimer's Association talking about they had to move it because of the flooding, but coming up on the 23rd is their walk to end Alzheimer's on the Chaves County Courthouse lawn. So we talk a little bit about that. We're going to replay our interview we have with Robert Sherman from the Walker Aviation Museum. He joined us back on November 5th, giving us an update there. So I'm going to play that for you in the 8 o'clock hour. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, we're going to have John LeMay join us in studio, Donna Blake Birchall on the phone, talking about the Christmas with Friends event coming up on the 23rd at the Historical Society. This is kind of, since the Holiday Magic Art and Craft Show got canceled, again, because of the flooding and the convention center being not available, they decided to do a little event to help some of the vendors. They're going to have a few folks there. John and Donna will be there, but they're going to have some stuff on the 23rd so you can come and do a little shopping, help out some of the vendors that, because quite frankly, some of these vendors, that's
their big event.
They miss Holiday Magic. That's real damper on their budget for the year. So they're trying to do a little something to help these folks out. And so we'll talk about that in the 9 o'clock hour, and we'll take you right into volleyball from there. So we'll go to volleyball. Like I said, the first game's at 10. We'll probably start here about 9:50 or so with all that action, all that. So before we do any of that, let's take a gander at your weather. It's kind of middling, 60s, 70s. It just keeps.
It's just there.
Just goes back and forth. Then they say, "Oh, it's going to rain sometimes."
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Things look pretty good for the next few days. High pressure is parked over the Four Corners, and that'll stay there for a while. 70 on our afternoon high today, maybe a little bit over, and we get sunshine. The wind should stay light. Overnight looks clear with upper 30s, and then we're in the mid to upper 70s on Friday. A little bit more breezy and sunny. Sunshine Saturday, shower Sunday. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 35 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 82%. Winds are, in fact, calm at the moment. Sunny and 69 today, so pushing 70. Winds will be out of the south, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Clear tonight with an overnight low of 35 degrees. South winds at around 5 miles per hour. Friday, going to be warm. Sunny, 75. Winds out of the south. 5 to 10 early. 10 to 15 for Friday afternoon. Friday night, clear skies, overnight low 43. South winds at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday, mostly sunny, 76 for a high with south winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Now they're saying a 20% chance of showers for Saturday night. Mainly after 11, mostly cloudy, overnight low of 49, and then a 60% chance of showers on Sunday with a high of 63. 80% chance at showers on Sunday night with an overnight low of 44, and then a 20% chance of showers early on Monday. Otherwise, partly cloudy for the day with a high of 62. And then we're going to be upper 50s Tuesday, 50 on Wednesday. So a cool down for next week here, it looks like. All right, 7:16. We're going to take a 4-minute break. Then we're going to play our interview with Don Weld talking about the Alzheimer's Association Walk to End Alzheimer's happening on the 23rd. Don't go away.
Attention, Roswell and surrounding areas. Roswell Ford knows recovering from an unexpected natural disaster is stressful, and our hearts go out to everyone who experienced loss due to the flooding. The damage left behind is devastating, but we're already seeing what it means to be Roswell strong, and we acknowledge and appreciate the heroic efforts of local authorities, first responders, and National Guard rescue teams. We've already received and continue to receive special shipments of new Fords and quality pre-owned vehicles available for immediate delivery during our massive Super Tent Sale. It's at our temporary location on West 2nd Street between Toyota and Allsup's. These new and pre-owned vehicles without flood damage are being offered to the public at unprecedented savings. We've instructed our staff to take any car in any condition. In fact, even if it doesn't run, we'll come get it and give you a generous allowance toward a new Ford or high-quality pre-owned vehicle. And we'll work with your insurance company to help you get what you deserve. At Roswell Ford's temporary location on West 2nd Street between Toyota and Allsup's. Thank you.
I've heard it said, speaking my mind is easy, speaking it tactfully, not so much. Hi, this is Pastor Troy and Julie Smotherman for The Joy of Marriage.
Proverbs 15:15 says, a gentle answer deflects anger, but harsh words make tempers flare. Sometimes my greatest accomplishment is keeping my mouth shut. There are times when we argue that it would be easy to lash out. So I have a choice to make. I can either feed the fire or quench it with my words.
Julie and I have learned there's going to be arguments, but we've learned to fight and argue, not to be right, but to get the situation right.
So the next time you're in an argument, try saying something kind from a genuine heart to bring peace in your marriage.
If you have any questions or would like further information about the Joy of Marriage Ministry, please go to jomconference.com.
Maybe your AC unit needs a little tender loving care. If you don't know where to turn, then you don't know Jack. In fact, they're downright funky. Let the boys at Fergie's Plumbing and Heating get your AC unit ice cold, just like some of my lady friends. Don't let any fool make you lose your cool. Fergie's Plumbing and Heating. If you don't know Fergie, then you don't know Jack. 632-2660.
Whether it's NFL on Thursday, Sunday, or Monday night, college football on Saturdays, or Roswell Coyote and Goddard Rocket football on Friday, Game Day Roswell is your #1 destination, with a kitchen open for all your favorite snacks and apps, and a stocked bar with a full line of beers and spirits, with happy hour pricing all the time, including $4 bottles and $5 16-ounce tap. And try the Game Day signature shot, Cinnamon Rocky Mountain Honey Whiskey, open Monday through Friday at 3, Saturdays at 11, and Sundays at 10:30 at 913 South Sunset in Roswell. Game Day, the place to go for football.
Central Valley Electric is continually learning and advancing technology that improves electric service, reliability, and safety, and in turn enhancing the quality of life for members that we serve in our local communities. CVE offers an account management program called Smart Hub that allows members to track their usage, set up convenient pay methods, and the ability to manage their energy use with smart technologies. A secure system such as Smart Hub is an easy tool to use. To sign up, visit cvecoop.org and click Smart Hub to get started.
At Richland Motors, it's never been easier to sell or trade your current car, truck, or SUV for a newer model to hit the road in. Even if you don't purchase from Richland, they want to buy your vehicle for top dollar. But if you do buy from Richland, don't forget, they're the home of the powertrain warranty for life. That's a whole lot of confidence for you. See Richland for details, 2nd and Sycamore, and 1309 Southeast Main.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. There are 293 ways to make change for $1. Try all 293 on the guy who keeps borrowing money from you. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 21 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, not wearing his American Legion hat nor his Friends of Bitter Lake hat, but today wearing his Alzheimer's Association hat. Don Wildbeck with us. Good morning, Don.
Hi, Mike. How you doing?
Though, if you got questions, he can answer all those. But
I would, yeah. And Veterans Transport.
And Veterans Transport. Yeah, I missed a few hats.
Yeah, but, they're in there. But that's okay.
But first off, Don, good morning. How are you today?
I am doing good. How are you doing?
Good. Well, for folks like you said, Don's highly involved in many things, but one of his passions is the Alzheimer's Association, and how many years now have you been involved with the, because obviously
I think it's about 7.
Your wife was and the reason why you are because your wife passed from Alzheimer's, and she lost her battle, and that's why this one's a little more special to you here.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
And but good news is we were supposed to have the Alzheimer's walk here few weeks ago,
right?
But the flooding happened, and the good news is if you missed it, good news is you get to come now and be a part. If you're like, oh man, I missed it.
Yeah.
No, we had to reschedule it, and now it's coming up this weekend.
Yep, it'll be the 23rd.
23rd. I'm sorry, I was a weekend off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, dates are messed up with me. I'm like 20th. Yeah, that's next week. So we're a week ahead of that one.
Yep. We keep the Chaves County courthouse area very, very busy during this time of year.
Yes.
If it's not Alzheimer's, it's the Veterans Parade.
That's right.
All these different things going on.
Farmers Market before that.
So we had to slip this one in on the 23rd.
Sure.
And we will be out there at the same time, same venue.
Everything else is normal. Just we pushed it back
just a different day,
month or so here, a couple
weeks.
Yeah.
So we're trying to hustle and get some things in place, but we're there. We're ready to go.
Which good news is, if you would like to put together teams or help raise money or help organize, you still got a little time here.
You sure do.
This is, and even if you, maybe you don't have time, but you can at least come out to the event, show support. If you'd like to make a donation at the event, that all is on the table here, where there's still time to get involved in the full thing if you want, or if you're just, I'd like to come out and maybe,
just walk.
Yeah, just walk.
Just come
and
out and say hi and walk,
or maybe because it is a bit of a roller coaster of emotion type day because part of the event is to honor those we've lost.
Right.
Part of the event is to support and encourage those still fighting the battle, and ultimately providing love and comfort to those that we grieve, but also at the same time providing strength and raising as much money as possible because I think we're so close to saying we can cure this thing. And it really,
it's just right there.
We got to push it over the goal line, basically.
Yeah, it's just right there. They've got a lot of research going on. A lot of things are looking positive. A lot of new medicines which keep the Alzheimer's at bay for a while longer.
Allowing people that have been diagnosed with a much longer quality of life.
Right. They can live better than they were.
I would imagine, even as when you lost your wife, even between now and then, they probably made
worlds of difference.
Advancements in the medicines that prolong life and things like that. And eventually, we want to see these medicines not only prolong it, but start reversing and once that happens, and guess what, folks? The cure is there.
That's right. We're looking for that white flower. The purple flower that I carry is for someone that I've lost.
That's honoring. It's like a gold star in the military.
There you go. Yeah. And there's a number of other colors. I can't begin to tell you what all the colors mean, but the white one I know. When we want to see that white flower, that's the one who had Alzheimer's and had it reversed.
Our first in remission person for
Correct.
Alzheimer's here. That would, and so we're so close to that, and so that's why literally you coming out here on the 23rd, trying to raise a little money, this really does. Every dollar at this point is getting us that much closer. So.
Means a lot.
And of course the event is going to there'll be the walk, but there's also the guard, and there's also a lot of tradition that's part of the Alzheimer's walk here, and all of that will be as part of this deal on the 23rd.
It's quite a ceremony. Pretty much the whole morning from about 9 o'clock on. I think the ceremony is going to be at 10, but from about 9 o'clock on. You'll be coming in, looking at different options, different tables, different people at the event.
Absolutely. And I would offer, if you're someone battling, maybe you yourself, but family members are, and you're looking for resources and support or an ear to bend, you're going to find a whole bunch of people at the that can.
This is where you would want to go, and we'll get you.
Not only relate to what you're in, but actually help you navigate through.
Yes. Yeah, and it's rougher on the caregiver. So that's what
you speak firsthand on this one.
Yeah. Yes, horrible experience. Well, horrible, but a memorable experience because it was time that I had to take care of her. So this is important to me in that aspect that we want the caregivers to be there. To get information to make their life a little easier. They've got a tremendous task ahead of them to take care of that victim.
From the physical needs to the mental health needs, because that both are equally important.
They are.
Because let's face it, you're seeing your loved one, in some cases, your most loved one, changing drastically before your eyes. And that's a lot to take in.
It's rough.
It's a lot to take in.
I call them a victim, the victim of Alzheimer's.
Yeah, and each one's different, but especially if you see if they get some of the aggravated stuff, where you see literally people that were the nicest people that wouldn't have said a ill word to anybody, just talk like a sailor all of a sudden.
That's right. And not only that, they can become very combative as well, physically.
Well, and they'll say things that'll cut like a knife. And, and that's where you, as the caregiver, have to be mentally strong enough to say that's not their feeling. That's the disease.
That's right.
And that's where you have to, and that's not easy to separate.
That's right.
And
it's tough.
Why you need to take care of you as much as you need to take care of your loved ones.
Yep.
So, but this event is to raise money, to support those fighting, and to celebrate those that are having successes. Because that's the thing too, is we're not having a cure, but there's people that have been diagnosed for a long time now that are living still relatively normal lives. And you know why? Because of events like this. That's why.
That's right.
Because of this research.
My wife, from the time she was diagnosed till the time she passed away, was 9 years. There are people who have lived 20 or more years with the disease.
With quality life.
And quality life.
Not the part you're thinking of.
No.
Where they'll have moments of that, but at the same time, they're pretty with it and pretty leading a relatively normal life. So
correct. Yeah, and that's due to the pharmaceuticals that we've developed.
Absolutely.
The medicines that we're giving them now.
Yeah, and so this is why it is so important to kind of make the 23rd. What time is everything kind of giving us a kind of a time of events kind of thing?
Come out around 9.
Okay.
Start gathering it at 9. We'll have ceremony around 10. The walk won't really take all that long because it's just kind of a couple of blocks up and around the back, and we're there.
Yeah, we're not doing this for fitness. We're doing it for remembrance.
Just remembrance. And I think that if I remember right, everything is wheelchair accessible.
Okay.
So even during the walk, you'll be able to, if you have somebody in a wheelchair, if you're pushing them, or if they have a mobile wheelchair, they can still make the trail.
Yeah, because I know downtown they made everything pretty much ADA.
Pretty
around
much,
that.
yeah.
And, shoot, I guess if you're really bored, the courthouse has the most amazing switchback trail for the handicap ramp to get into that
back.
building.
That's right. Oh,
if you want to hike Everest, go
yeah, that's right. you can do a 2-mile walk.
You get a workout on that thing. It's a switchback trail for that ramp.
I found that to be so fun. And right on the front door it says, "This is not an entrance."
Then you turn around. Yeah, I feel like that's like a Far Side comic in the newspaper.
There you go.
That's what that is in real life. But anyway, but I joke. But you're right. There's plenty of access, for even ADA compliance. And so if you've got wheelchair access, that is not a hindrance for you to participate.
That's right.
So please feel free to come on out.
And the jokes are important too. We've got to laugh. This is such a horrendous disease that you need that time to laugh.
Well, laughter is the best medicine sometimes.
Yes, it
is. And sometimes even in the darkest moments of things going on, you break the tension of that, and it just
there you go.
It's kind of
there you go. It's important.
And to be honest, especially, and I imagine when you're battling Alzheimer's, I've had these kinds of things with other family members, like cancer or something like that, and you have those moments in life where it's coming to the end, and you have like those moments of levity. But I would even argue when 24/7 you're dealing with Alzheimer's stuff, and those moments of levity are just that much more needed. If that makes sense.
They're very much so.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, and even if the jokes are a little morbid, that's okay. It's how your body's coping and processing.
You gotta cope.
And this is the thing, and this is what binds us all as humans.
Right.
We're all going to be born, and we're all going to die at some point. Or how that happens. There's a lot of variables there, but that's something we're all going to have to deal with at some point here.
The human body was not made to last forever.
Yeah.
It has an expiration date.
So you got to do things to make your mind right about things like that, and sometimes humor does that.
That's right.
So please don't feel a certain type of way, because I understand, and I'm one of those, and Sean and I both always say we're that guy that when it's the absolute darkest, we're like, I want to crack a little jokey joke just to break the tension.
Yeah,
a little
get it
bit.
done. Like that guy used to say, "Get her done."
Yeah, it's like I just want to break that tension a little bit, just to. But really, when it comes to this kind of disease, those moments are healing moments, and those are moments to give people strength to continue on.
That's right. Yeah.
So
we all need that.
So that's what really the 23rd is about, is to come for the mental health, help fight your own battles and help you get strength for that. Come support those that are fighting. Come help raise money. I mean, that's the big thing here too. But we'd love to come wear your purple. Wear as much purple. Come show that's another thing too. We'd like to see people that are driving up and down Main Street on Saturday the 23rd, and they'll be like on the court. What's going on the course? Because they see hundreds of people in purple out there.
Yeah,
that's what we want.
It's a purple day.
Yeah, exactly.
Purple day.
So that's what we're hoping here, and I guess you could probably get some purple while you're there. If you don't, you can probably procure a T-shirt or two.
There you go.
You buy
there
one
will
to
be T-shirts available,
and I'm sure you can make a donation for those to get that done. And again, raise as much money here, even if you don't have a team and you just want to come out and say, "Here's $100" or whatever. They'd love to have you do that, but come out and support. Come out and certainly if you have questions or if you are dealing with Alzheimer's, please come out if you can and let us help you navigate your battle here and help you fight. Like all these other, you'll find that you're not alone, and there are people that know exactly how you. Because I imagine that's a big thing, like for yourself. Like when you were going through this with your wife, I imagine there was moments where you felt isolated, alone. And,
I did,
and
very much so.
And that's where the Alzheimer's Association shines, because that's where they say, you know what, you're not alone. We're pretty good at this. We've been dealing. We know long before you were dealing with this. We've had people that have been dealing with this. Let us help you navigate through this, so we can make this as a. Hopefully, we can fight them long enough. They get it diagnosed early, and someone diagnosed today. I feel confident we can cure those folks. You know what I mean?
We
I feel like
we might be able to.
Like
That's
if
right.
you get a diagnosis today, I feel optimistic that I could, tell you we could buy you enough time to cure this thing.
Yep.
And that's what
That's what it's all about.
So this is what the 23rd is all about. So
and this walk is as much for the caregivers as it is for the patient. We have all kinds of information. When I was taking care of my wife for those 9 years, I didn't know or understand about the Alzheimer's Association and the kinds of things that they could do. I did that pretty much on my own, good or bad.
So you're kind of like, I wish I learned this a little bit earlier in my own struggle here.
Yeah, it would have really helped. And today we can give the caregiver as much help as we can the patient, if not more, because that caregiver has to have that information and that ability. We can give you days off.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, and that's something that, and this is where you guys really probably have to remind the caregivers is, and it's just human nature. Caregivers will sacrifice their own needs to take care of their loved one.
That's right.
And that's the biggest thing that you guys have to remind folks is no. You need to take care of you, because if you aren't mentally and physically able, you're not going to be any help to your loved one.
That's right.
That's why it is so important that you don't neglect your own needs. And that's the Alzheimer's Association is very good at reminding you that and giving you resources.
It's vital that you take care of that caregiver takes care of themselves so that you can do your best for your patient.
This is just like on the airline talk where they say when the mask drop, put yours on before you put your kids on. That way, it's the same kind of deal here.
Take care of yourself first, and then
to make sure
you can take the best care.
Fully capable of taking care of whatever needs, because there is no such thing as an easy road when someone's been diagnosed with Alzheimer's.
Nope.
You're about to be hammered with a rough road ahead. There is no two ways to polish that or spin it in any other way. So what you got to do is do everything you can to give yourself everything possible to fight the battles that are coming ahead. The ones that hopefully give you, and these battles are real battles now. Like I feel like these battles are battles to win the war. Like we're not just buying time anymore. We're buying time to get to the cure. And I really feel like people that are getting diagnosed now could be our first white flower. Like I feel like these are our first white flower.
I really hope so. Yeah. So, we're looking for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, here November 23rd, here on the Chaves County Courthouse lawn, about 9-ish.
Yeah, start arriving around 9. Sign in, get things set up. If you haven't made a donation, you make a donation there if you want. If you make a large enough donation, they'll give you a shirt. and when you sign in and all that, you'll get your flower for the type of activity that you need to let.
Is there
people
one
know.
for just supporter kind of thing?
Yes, there's a support. There's one who has a person who has passed away from Alzheimer's. There's one who is there's a support. You've got a person that you're taking care of.
Gotcha. Well, I just didn't know if like me directly, I don't have anybody directly that was dementia, but if I came out there, I'd want to support it.
There is a flower for that person who doesn't have anybody that they're taking care of, but want to help and support the Alzheimer's.
Perfect. That's what I kind of figured. But I was like, so you kind of know. But come see it. Come be a part of it. Come experience it, because that's the thing too. Is yes, we're talking about money and the raising, but it really is a community gathering of all people experiencing some kind of thing with Alzheimer's, whether it's you yourself actually fighting the disease or being a caregiver for a loved one fighting that disease, or just a family member that's impacted by the disease.
Right.
It's for all of folks to come together and let's network, let's share, let's console, let's support each other. And oh, by the way, we'll have a little fun too. We'll walk and like I said, it's
talk and walk and get around. Yeah. I don't guarantee this, but I think there's going to be some hot dogs out there.
Okay.
Who was going to do that? Oh, it's been so long now since we were setting all this up. I don't remember who it is that's going to do the hot dogs for us. But
yeah, and quite frankly, there's been big priorities in between now and then. So
it's kind of kept busy.
Yeah. So, but we would love to see folks come out again, November 23rd, here on the Chaves County Courthouse Lawn downtown, beginning about 9. If you go, if you type in Alzheimer's Association, Roswell,
alz.org/Roswell.
That's
Roswell Walk.
And that'll take you to a direct link on
for Roswell.
Google. You could probably Google Alzheimer's Association Roswell, and you'll find something similar if you don't know the exact address there. They're also on Facebook as well. If you have any questions, look for Alzheimer's Association Roswell. Type in the search, and you'll find the page. If you have any questions, you can shoot a message to there, and one of the volunteers will get you information.
And if you want to look for a specific team, all the teams have their own website associated with the ALZ.
Okay, so if you want to pick a team and support them, like you got some friends that got a team and you want to chip into their deals, you'll find that there.
Find their team name on there. And I'm going to put my own plug in here.
Absolutely. He's got a team.
My team is Photo Finish.
Nice.
One word, Photo Finish. That's all you have to put in. Once you get to the Roswell, the team name, just put in Photo Finish. It'll take you to my particular website. So if you don't have a friend
favorite, give it to Photo Finish.
There you go.
But if you do have a friend or family, it's like, I don't want you to get in a fight at your Christmas party.
No. No. There you go. There you go.
But if you don't have a team, support Don's team. Photo
there
Finish
you go.
There. But either way, it's the people that win are the Alzheimer's. That's what we're trying to do. So find your team and pick it. I really don't care. But if you get involved and contribute, that's what's important.
You can go right to alz.org and make your donations there if you want.
Absolutely. Yeah. And by the way, too, if you are looking for resources, maybe you are recently diagnosed, or maybe you're in the middle of going through that diagnosis right now, and I'm sure there's a lot of questions you have.
Yep.
Please reach out to our Alzheimer's Association. They're full of resources, information. They can help you navigate. They can help you tell you what's next. Like obviously you're going to be parking and working with your doctors and stuff, but the other stuff, that's the stuff for the Alzheimer's Association can really help you prepare and get you ready for
another reason for coming to the walk, because we'll have lots of different entities there who help out with the Alzheimer's. They have their information, and they can give you more information.
So you get like a one-stop shop, come in and do the round
in, get
around,
all the information you need.
Next thing you know, you got some other kind of ancillary services, things, whether there's rehab involved or anything, or
right.
Financial support in any way, shape, or form. You'll find all those resources that are be available.
Days off type of thing, because for the caregivers, they can work out where the caregiver can take a day off and have somebody come in and take care of your Alzheimer's patient.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's lots of resources, and they can tap in, whether it's through government-funded entities or private-funded. There are lots of resources to help you navigate. Like you said, so if you need some downtime, you need to go out and get your hair cut, or go maybe see a
do
movie.
a little shopping,
go see or go see a movie or something.
For a lot of them, go to the beauty parlor.
Yeah, go get your nails
spend a
done.
day and
go have dinner or something.
Yeah.
Just take care of you for a little bit while someone takes care. Or I imagine even maybe it's resources while you're home taking care. They can go run errands. They can go
That's true
grocery
too.
shopping
Yes.
or pick up meds or whatever's needed. There's a lot of different variations on that type of stuff.
And a lot of that is free.
Yes.
Yeah. So
absolutely.
Don't worry about the cost of it. They'll figure out how to pay for it.
This is
without coming out of your pocket.
This is what they do all day, every day.
That's
they,
right.
They turn over rocks. That they find things.
Yep.
So let them turn over rocks for you. And find
Yep.
things. So, but again, come on out and join us on November 23rd, 9 a.m. on the Chaves County Courthouse lawn. Bring your purple, or come and buy some purple.
There you go.
Either way, it's all good. We'd love to have you come and support, but we would love to see where you don't see the green grass, all you see is a sea of purple.
There you
on the
go.
Courthouse.
We're going to cover that lawn with purple.
Yeah. While I got you here, any other updates? How was Cranes and Cocoa this past weekend? Have a good turnout
That turned out
for Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge?
really, really good. I want to thank the public for that because apparently that was a good weekend, and I think we're going to continue to have it a little. We used to have it on Thanksgiving weekend.
Okay.
That Saturday.
And that just seemed a little too hectic at that time.
Too much.
People have too much going on.
We have an auditorium that can hold X number of people, 70 some odd people in the auditorium.
Fire marshal, he'll tell you.
Yeah, that's about right. I'll have to talk to Mac.
Yeah, Matt.
Matt. Anyway, we filled it. We had people that were still outside.
Awesome.
Waiting.
Standing room only for Cranes and Cocoa. So it was a record attendance of that.
It was very good.
Good.
Good cocoa. Everybody seemed to enjoy it. We have cocoa and we have hot cinnamon cider.
Ooh.
Cinnamon.
Nice.
Spice cider. That's what she called it. Spice cider.
Or
and cookies.
Warsaw. That's another term that's kind of similar in that vein. I think they use pantyhose for that one. It's like apple and cinnamon. Or something.
Yeah.
Warsaw.
And they drain it.
Yeah, it's like a cider. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
But I think the recipe calls to strain it through pantyhose. But
one of our members put that together. So,
nice. That's a holiday tradition.
Cookies we got all gone.
Nice.
Drank all the cocoa, drank all the cider.
I'm glad everyone came out and got to partake and see nature and see. And I'm hoping that inspired a few families to come out for some more of it.
And see some more of that place is open 24/7.
And it's a different experience every season. You come in the spring, and then you go in the summer, it's going to look different.
I said that wrong. It's not 24/7. Daylight or sunrise to sunset.
Yes.
7 days a week.
Yes. Yeah. That's with the lights on, they're on.
Yeah.
They're open.
Yeah, that's right.
But come out to Bitter Lake, and just because there's no event this weekend, you know what? You got a little downtime. Come out there and
just
walk
relax.
some of the trails. And obviously, and please buy stuff in the gift shop because all that's run by the Friends of Bitter Lake.
Yep.
And every T-shirt, every book, everything you buy out of that gift shop goes back into the Bitter Lake Refuge and all the projects and conservation efforts that are going on.
That's how we
there.
help out the refuge.
Like if you happen to see the bird blind that was out there, or if you got to walk on some of the trails while you're out at Bitter Lake, all of that happens because of money raised from that gift shop and then what the Friends of Bitter Lake do. So please continue. And by the way, we are in the holiday shopping season. I always remind you, if you got, they got some great Christmas gifts in that. If you got books or toys even for the kids, great toys that are
educational type toys.
Yeah.
But they are fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Fun
yeah, things that your kids would like. But even like if you've got your nature lovers and books on birds and wildlife, and we got you covered on all that stuff out there. So.
They do need to know that the Oxbow Trail, which is the one that's farthest south on the loop.
Okay.
We've had to close that. The flooding just kind of wiped it out.
To be honest,
so
if that's all you had to worry about, that's not bad compared to
we're in pretty good shape.
To be honest,
everything else is pretty much open.
Good. So one trail is going to be out of commission for a while.
Right.
Now imagine volunteers are probably going to have to go there and rebuild it and
Yeah, and we're getting some funding from National on that.
Oh, great.
So
excellent. So
they set aside some funds just to rebuild that.
Just from the National Park or whoever.
Yeah, it's the National Wildlife Refuge group that takes care of that.
Yeah, I know. They get when you get to national parks, it gets a little muddy on who's in charge and things like that.
Well, we actually report to it is national parks. We
because they do
report
cover a lot of the ecological stuff. Like I know, just gee whiz, more than a couple years ago now. I think it was a while back, but I went to North Carolina down to Outer Banks and all that area, and if you've ever been on it, that's basically off the coast of North Carolina. It's a big long island. And it's a long. That's where your nags hit. Some of your beaches that you know that's right there in the Outer Banks. But some of those beaches are for mostly public stuff.
Right.
But you get some of those other beaches, and the public can go there, but it's not for beach stuff. It's more like Bitter Lake. It's more, and it's all run by the Park Service.
Yeah, it's controlled for the wildlife rather than the humans.
So you can't go out there and put your blankets down or nothing.
No,
but you can walk around and observe wildlife.
Right, and that's the whole point. And that's the whole point of the National Wildlife System is to protect our wildlife that we have.
Yeah, absolutely,
and give them that opportunity. Flying J, right here in Bitter Lake.
Absolutely, it is. It's a pilot flying J. And this is migratory season. In case you haven't noticed, out your windows and things in the evening, you probably see if you got trees in your yard, there's probably a lot of birds hanging around.
Yeah, that's right. Time. Yeah, we got all the crackles came up. They're in here.
Well, when I left work yesterday, and it was about 4:30 or so, we were walking down the alley here, and because we usually park down in here, and I think the grackles all stopped here and hung out on the
power lines.
On the power lines. It was very Alfred Hitchcock-like.
Yep.
Like, why are all these 500 grackles?
And they're usually set they face east.
Yeah.
They're looking for the sunrise.
And now that you say that
that's
they
what
were.
it is.
Yeah, they were all looking that way. You're right. As soon as you say that,
almost all the birds, especially the larger birds. I see sparrows and such do that too, but the larger birds, the crackles, the crows, etc., they will do that in the morning. They'll sit and they'll watch for the sunrise, and then they'll go do their business.
Nice. Well, I imagine they were looking west this time, now that I think about it, because this was 4 p.m. So.
Oh, okay. In the afternoon, they're watching the sunset.
Yeah. So I think they were, but.
And then they go into their nighttime.
Well, I think I made a joke when I did it. I said, "Are these guys that couldn't get in over at Bitter Lake? Are they going to hang out? I think there's no vacancy over there, so they're hanging out here in the alley."
Might be. They might be. They might be nesting out here at Sycamore.
Oh, okay.
The bird.
Oh, the sanctuary. Yeah, okay. I didn't think about that. Yeah. But I just made that in my head. I made the jokes I guess they couldn't get in over at Bitter Lake.
There you go.
Very good. But come join us here on November 23rd for the Alzheimer's walked-in Alzheimer's event here, beginning at 9 a.m. on the courthouse lawn. And come support it. And like I said, we keep doing this. I'd like to say, certainly before I leave Earth, I'd love to see.
I'd love to see that white flower.
White flower.
Let's keep working on it and getting it going.
Yep, that'd be a game changer. I'd love to be talking about Alzheimer's like we talk about polio.
There you go.
That would be a nice thing.
There you go.
Well, thank you, sir. As always, appreciate it. And anything else we need, let us know. We'll make whatever happen.
Well, I'm sure I'll be back here before Christmas. So.
Feel pretty confident about it too. So. Thank you, Don.
Thank you, Mike. You have a good day.
You do the same. Try to pause for a few minutes here for yourself there too.
Now, your Pecos Valley News Update. I'm Jared Cirillo. A disaster recovery center operated by the state of New Mexico and FEMA is opening now to help New Mexicans affected by the severe storms and flooding. The DRC opening at Roswell Mall, 4501 North Main Street in Roswell in Chavez County. That's right next to the Bath & Body Works store. The center will be open from 10 to 7 weekdays and 10 to 5 on Saturdays, closed on Sundays. Residents and business owners in Chavez County can visit the center and apply for FEMA help, upload any documents, learn about available resources, and get their questions answered in person. United Way Eddy County has honored the late Gary Sims with an award for service to the community. The award was presented during a ribbon-cutting ceremony of the United Way's new Artesia headquarters at 605 West Main Street. Sims' daughter, Anna Whitmire, accepted the award on behalf of her father. Sims was once president of the former United Way of Artesia Board of Directors and frequently acted as the organization's public face. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Things look pretty good for the next few days. High pressure is parked over the Four Corners, and that'll stay there for a while. 70 on our afternoon high today, maybe a little bit over, and we get sunshine. The wind should stay light. Overnight looks clear with upper 30s, and then we're in the mid to upper 70s on Friday. A little bit more breezy and sunny. Sunshine Saturday, shower Sunday. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
It's time for the Chavez County Sports Report. State volleyball starts today with a lot of teams in action locally. Roswell in Class 5A, out in Class 4A, Goddard and district rival Artesia are both in the draw for that classification. 3A, Dexter's in it. Gateway Christian in 1A. So it's one sport off to another, but let's not leave soccer just yet because NMMI are the state champs in Class 3A boys soccer for the second year in the road, defeating Santa Fe Prep over this past weekend by a 2-1 count. That was back on Friday, behind 1-0 when Javier Lopez tied the game just before halftime with a header in the 72nd minute. Nicholas Barcenas Barbien with the game winner. Congratulations to the Colts, who finished 16-5. Santa Fe Prep only had one loss coming into that. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell Talk FM 106.5.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. U.S. consumer prices increased as expected in October amid higher costs for shelter, and progress toward low inflation has slowed in recent months, which could result in fewer interest rate cuts from the Federal Reserve next year. On Wall Street, the optimism about President-elect Donald Trump's deregulatory agenda was tempered by uncertainty over his personnel and policies. Bankers were still bullish on deals. They expected friendly regulators to be installed atop key agencies. 1 week after Trump's election victory, industry experts shifted their focus to Trump's financial policies. The union representing 45,000 East Coast and Gulf Coast dock workers and a group representing employers held a new round of contract talks this week, but failed to make significant progress. Boeing is issuing layoff notices starting this week to workers impacted by a broader plan to cut 17,000 jobs or 10% of its global workforce. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
The apostle receive an inheritance from the Lord as a reward. It is the Lord Christ that you're serving. To support ourselves and our families, we all have to work, some in the home, some out of the home. In our work, God calls us to always give our best and to be our best. Ultimately, God is the one who we answer to. Good or bad, inspiring or tedious, hard or easy, no matter where we find ourselves in our jobs, God has blessed us with our work. He's blessed us with a way to support our family, to give back to Him, and to encourage those around us. As you begin your day of work, pray for guidance and wisdom, strength and discernment. Pray for opportunities to be a light to those around you. Ask for the integrity to resist the temptation to take shortcuts or to waste time. Be a peacemaker, an encourager, and most importantly, be a leader.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
At Richland Motors, it's never been easier to sell or trade your current car, truck, or SUV for a newer model to hit the road in. Even if you don't purchase from Richland, they want to buy your vehicle for top dollar. But if you do buy from Richland, don't forget, they're the home of the powertrain warranty for life. That's a whole lot of confidence for you. See Richland for details. 2nd and Sycamore and 1309 Southeast Main.
Are you ready to succeed? Earn your FFA certification through ENMU Roswell's Aviation Maintenance Technology Program. ENMU Roswell has the only FFA Part 147 airframe and power plant school in Southeast New Mexico. Receive commercial and general aviation training, hands-on training with Operation Aircraft, Boeing commercial experience, advanced composite repair training, and more. And ENMU Roswell offers in-state tuition for veterans too. Learn more about this exciting program on campus or online at roswell.enmu.edu. Eastern New Mexico University, Roswell. Success starts here. Have you experienced the Valley Cafe yet? It's much more than lunch or dinner. It's an experience. Chef Anthony Noble is a nominated Chef of the Year and manager with a 4.9 out of 5 kitchen cleanliness rating and a 4.8 out of 5 most love rating. It's time for you to experience the difference that so many others already have at the Valley Cafe. Visit for lunch or dinner at 801 West Brasher, the Orange Building across from Church on the Move in Roswell. And save the Valley Cafe in your contacts. 575-755-EATS. 575-755-3287. Don't forget, we can cater your event too, and a portion of our proceeds go to the Dream Center in Roswell.
So your pecans aren't as big and bountiful as they used to be? Well, what would Jim Gill do?
Hi, this is Ben from Roswell Seed Company. Few people knew as much about pecans as Jim Gill. And if he were here today, he'd tell you it was time to fertilize. He'd tell you just what you need and show you how to use it. Then he'd make some joke about your neighbors making fun of your nuts.
So when there's trouble with your pecans, head for Roswell Seed Company and ask them, what would Jim Gill do?
Do you love your car?
Yes.
Well, Roswell Hyundai wants to help you keep your current car with a lower payment. Introducing Refi with Hyundai. Roswell Hyundai wants to help you refinance your current vehicle with rebates and discounts to lower your payment. If you're ready to upgrade, Roswell Hyundai has a fresh inventory of new and pre-owned vehicles with special financing available regardless of your credit with I-10 accepted. Don't forget, all new Hyundais come with a 5-year bumper-to-bumper warranty and 3 years of free oil changes. So, what makes Roswell Hyundai the #1 used car dealership in southeastern New Mexico? You do. Roswell Hyundai, 1909 West 2nd.
On air and online, this is Roswell's home for talk radio. KEND Roswell.
And good morning. We're closing in on 8 o'clock. Town Hall News coming up here in just a few seconds. Stay tuned next hour, around 8:15 or so. We're going to replay our interview we had with Robert Sherman from the Walker Aviation Museum. He joined us back last week. Give us an update on what's happening out there and all the good stuff there. So we'll play that interview for you next hour. Don't forget, we do have volleyball playoffs beginning just about 10 o'clock this morning. Goddard, their matchup first, then Roswell High at noon today. And then we'll, based on their wins or losses, we'll carry them from them. But volleyball will start at 10 a.m. this morning. So, like I said, Town Hall News up next. We'll be back on the other side of news. Don't go away. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. You might just call it the Republicans' Triple Crown. Voters have chosen a GOP president, a Republican-led Senate, and now
Republicans have won enough seats to control the U.S. House. A House Republican victory in Arizona, alongside a win in California, gave the GOP the 218 House victories that make up the majority.
That's correspondent Lisa Dwyer. President-elect Trump wants Florida Republican Congressman Matt Gaetz for Attorney General, and that sets the stage for what could be a highly contentious confirmation fight.
Mr. Trump said in a statement on Truth Social, quote, Matt is a deeply gifted and tenacious attorney who has distinguished himself in Congress through his focus on achieving desperately needed reform at the Department of Justice. Trump said that Gaetz would, quote, end weaponized government, protect our borders, dismantle criminal organizations, and restore America's badly shattered faith and confidence in the Justice Department. Mr. Trump also nominated former Democratic Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard to head the intelligence community. Bernie Bennett in Washington.
And Gaetz has since resigned his congressional seat. Looks like the Fed inflation fighters have some more work to do as wholesale prices rose again last month.
The increase suggests that the American economy has yet to completely vanquish inflationary pressure. The Producer Price Index, which tracks inflation before it hits consumers, rose 0.2% from September to October. That's up from a 0.1% gain the month before. Compared with a year earlier, wholesale prices were up 2.4%, accelerating from a year-over-year gain of 1.9% in September.
Correspondent Jeremy House. As wildfires rage from coast to coast in New York City, the fire commissioner says the city has seen a record number of brush fires in the past couple of weeks. Watching Wall Street this morning, the Dow is up 40 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
A man who failed to break into Brazil's Supreme Court has killed himself in explosions outside the building, forcing justices and staff to flee.
The explosions took place in one of the most sensitive locations in Brasilia, the square which is the site of the Supreme Court, the President's Palace, and Congress. The first blast was in a car parked near the court, the second moments later at the entrance to the court itself. Officials said a man had killed himself after trying and failing to enter the court building. There's no clue yet as to motive. Investigations have been hampered by the presence of suspected explosive materials scattered around the dead body. There are heightened security worries in Brazil, as it's due to host the G20 summit next week in Rio de Janeiro.
The BBC's Peter Hyatt. The fifth major storm in 3 weeks has hit the northeastern Philippines, prompting more large-scale evacuations. The UN call for emergency funds to help the government ease the plight of hard-hit villagers. News and analysis at townhall.com. Federal prosecutors say a young man has pleaded guilty in a case involving the so-called swatting of a Florida mosque.
Swatting is the practice of making a prank call to, say, 911 in an attempt to bring about the dispatch of a large number of armed police officers to a particular address. U.S. Attorney's Office in the Middle District of Florida says 18-year-old Alan Filion of Lancaster, California, entered the plea to 4 counts of making interstate threats. He faces up to 5 years in prison on each count. A sentencing date has not yet been set. Jason Walker reporting.
Gun rights groups have gone to court challenging Maine's 72-hour waiting period for firearms purchases, arguing that it's unconstitutional and flatly inconsistent with the Second Amendment's original meaning. The state's attorney general calls it a reasonable, limited regulation. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The tabloid said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2
La Deuce
of Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell Talk FM. Happy Thursday.
Yes, sir.
It is Thursday.
TGI Thursday.
Getting into a big, busy sports day here with volleyball playoff action for you for a large portion of today here on the radio. We'll have Goddard Rockets first up at 10 o'clock this morning, then the Roswell Coyotes at noon, and then we could be having some more games at 4 and 6 today.
Yep.
Because if they win, if either team wins today, Goddard will play again at 4, Roswell will play again at 6 if they win. If either team loses, they will play, Goddard will play at 10 tomorrow, and Roswell will play at noon And I believe if they win both games today, they will both play.
Yes.
So we'll either have games at 10 and noon and 4 and 6, or 10 and noon and then 10 and noon and whenever after that.
Right. And if a winner can't be declared, a thumb wrestling war will happen on Monday.
Yes. But we'll bring you all the volleyball action right up until Saturday if any of our teams head. And, of course, we will be carrying Artesia. They are also in the tournament as well. We'll have those games for you on our sister station, 990 AM, KSEP in Artesia.
Yes,
we will have audio only on our video streams for the volleyball. We do not have video permissions because it is state playoffs, and you have to buy those from NFHS Network and all that stuff. So,
yes,
which you're more than willing to do if you're wanting to do that. But I will tell you, I think it's a monthly fee of $10, and if you don't cancel, they're going to rebill you.
And they will rebill you. That's a big part of their business, actually.
Yeah, and I'm not even sure if that price is accurate. That may be an old price. But anyway, that's the way. But we will have the audio portion, so you'll hear Kelly. He's there, and they're calling the games for everybody for both Goddard and Roswell for us here. So, and literally the games are back to back, and especially during playoffs, if you've never been to volleyball playoffs, especially in the first part, they'll have like 4 games going on the big basketball court at one time.
It's a lot to keep track of all at once.
Yeah, and so how it's going to be working is I think Goddard's going to be playing on one, and then they wrap up Roswell. So I think Kelly can literally sit right where he's at, call one game, and go right to the other. I think that's kind of how we're going to be playing it today. And then the same thing tonight too, as well, if both teams win. So
yes,
but it gets fast and furious here on some of that. And matter of fact, it is kind of neat too, because depending on where he's sitting and how he's positioned, and where, like if Artesia's playing on one court, you can kind of look, oh, there's their score, but by the way, Artesia's up or down or whatever, and so you kind of see 4 games at once. So you're there's a lot going on.
It reminds me of that meme that's going, or that clip that's going around. It's like a TikTok.
Yeah,
it's like, I'm never gonna have my grandma videotape my recital or my tournaments again.
Yeah,
and it shows this kid doing this really amazing flip, into this landing.
Right.
And then it shows this kid on a trampoline way in the background. It's like, this is me.
Nice.
But just make sure you're watching the right game if you're heading out up to the tournament.
And it does happen from time to time where volleyballs travel into other courts, and so sometimes games get delayed because an errant ball went from another game.
Sure.
It doesn't happen often, but it does happen from time to time there. So.
I still, it never ceases to amaze me how a group of young men will seize up and just start watching a volleyball game. Like, I was just sitting in the booth at the state fair. It was just so funny. We were playing the volleyball game on the side, on the TV on the side, and just a gaggle, if you will, of young teenage boys just gathered around the warmth of the TV glow.
And you know what? It was the same when we were their age, and it was the same when the boys the age before us, and it'll be the same with the kids after.
That's right. It's good to know that something stands the test of time.
It's human nature.
That's right.
If there are girls doing things, boys will watch. And vice versa.
Of course. I mean, one would hope. Construction sites mostly. If Diet Coke commercials have taught me anything.
All I'm saying is I'm pretty sure the NFL could put their players in sweatpants and be just fine. That's all I'm saying. They choose to put the tightest possible pants on them people.
I'm gonna present an argument to you, because I don't know if you're privy to this world, because you're a married man, so you don't really dip a toe into this world. I'm just gonna let you know, women prefer us in sweatpants. All right?
Oh yeah.
They prefer the sweatpant.
Okay.
And because the sweatpant allows a certain amount of
growth.
Well, dangle.
Okay.
And show off, we'll call it.
Well,
so they enjoy a nice gray sweatpant.
You know what also does that? The NFL pants.
Oh yeah, no, those two.
You could tell the year of the dime in their back pocket.
There's a whole subsection of Facebook and social media that's like, ooh, men in gray sweatpants.
Yeah,
it's a whole thing.
Of course, I think they're more looking at the backside.
Oh, of course. that juicy bubble.
Yeah.
Mix-a-lot's in trouble.
Anyway, that was an awful transition.
Point is, high school volleyball action happening today and tomorrow. Oh, and high school football action happening tomorrow and Saturday.
Quite frankly.
So lots and lots of chances to catch sports action.
Yeah.
Is what we're trying to say.
Yeah, that transitioned poorly. But
it did. It really did.
But yes, we do have all that for you here today. And then, of course, tomorrow night, we will have football. Playoff football for you is the Coyotes will host Highland here tomorrow night at the Wool Bowl. That game will be available with live streaming video at ksvptv.com. Also right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. However, pack the Wool Bowl tomorrow.
Yes.
If you're going to be watching it at home, your home better not be in Roswell.
That's right.
all I'm saying.
That's right.
Get out to the Wool Bowl if you can get out there.
Experience it live. Yeah. So I stumbled on a list. I wanted to bring this up. It's a list that the New York Post put out of the top 10 sexiest bald men in the world.
Well, thank you.
I mean, I didn't say you made the cut.
Sorry. I thought you were.
No, but this is probably going to infuriate you when you hear this because it's not based on votes. It's based a marketing agency used a list of criteria like smile analysis, shine factor, which I think means dome shine.
I was gonna say, what's my smile got to do with my head? My bald
vocal attractiveness and media perception to create their ranking. So I'm going to run down the top 10.
Okay.
And I'm going to see if you think any of these are slightly incongruous. Okay. Starting off with number 10, Vin Diesel. Okay. Stanley Tucci at number 9.
All right.
Some French soccer coach named Thierry Henry at number 8. Samuel L. Jackson at number 7.
Okay.
Danny DeVito at number 6.
When I think sexy, I think Danny DeVito.
Beating out Vin Diesel, obviously. But hold on, it gets better. Number 5, Terry Crews. Only slightly better than Danny DeVito.
Right. Ladies, move that Terry guy aside. Give me that little tall stack of 4'6".
You mean the man that can make each pectoral dance to his own beat?
Move that aside.
Scoot over, buddy.
Give me the eraser troll in the back. Man.
I want Frank from Always Sunny. Number 4, surfer Kelly Slater, who I really haven't thought about since the 90s, since his video game came out.
About to say,
I didn't even know he was bald. Number 3, Shaq. Okay? Shaquille O'Neal beating out all of those other ones I mentioned. Number 2, The Rock. But you think, okay, who's going to beat The Rock? Prince William. Yeah! Prince William's goofy-looking keister took the top spot on that list.
Wow.
Like, what?
Wow. Who made this list?
It was some marketing agency, and it was based on, like I said, scientific factors.
2 people in a basement with a lot of free time. That's what that means.
Somebody who's really into Meghan Markle and wants to, like, I don't know, win some brownie points.
Vin Diesel ain't so hot. Now that Danny DeVito,
I'll tell you,
boy.
He's so. I like a date that I can also use as a drink, an end table, if you will.
Oh man. And to be honest, most of the time he's not bald.
No,
he has hair.
He's got the side hair.
Yeah,
and he's got the crazy side hair that if you let it, it'll go like Krusty the Clown on you.
Yeah, like a taxi.
But you know what he does have? An egg for you in this trying time.
That's right.
So,
go watch Taxi and then go watch any Fast and Furious movie. You tell me who's the sexier of the 2.
Thank you very much.
Right? Yeah, you're gonna get wrapped up in Kaneki.
Yeah,
he's also in Taxi.
Yeah,
he's no longer with us.
No.
So, and they had Angela. They had he was so they had a lot more eye candy than Danny DeVito.
That's true. But you know what? He was there.
Yeah.
And actually in Taxi, he had a pretty healthy head of hair.
Well, no, it was the bald here, but out here.
But it was he still had a little bit up top.
Not much.
Like it now is like basically a bald hawk.
It was the Gallagher.
Yeah. Yeah, a little bit.
All right, it is 8:16. We need to get our interview and all that going. While you dream of Danny DeVito, here's your weather. Vin Diesel.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Things look pretty good for the next few days. High pressure is parked over the Four Corners, and that'll stay there for a while. 70 on our afternoon high today, maybe a little bit over, and we get sunshine. The wind should stay light. Overnight looks clear with upper 30s, and then we're in the mid to upper 70s on Friday. A little bit more breezy and sunny. Sunshine Saturday, shower Sunday. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 43 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 63%. Winds are out of the north at 3 miles per hour. Sunny and 69 today. Winds will be out of the south, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Skies will be clear tonight with an overnight low of 35 degrees. South winds at around 5 miles per hour. Sunny on Friday with a high of 75. Winds will be out of the south, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Increase in 10 to 15 later in the day. Tomorrow night, mostly clear. Overnight low of 43 with south winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Then for the weekend, kind of a tale of 2 days. Saturday, mostly sunny, 76 for a high with south winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. And then beginning Saturday night, we're looking at some rain chances. Just a 20% for Saturday night, and they're talking late. Mostly cloudy with an overnight low of 49 degrees. But then on Sunday, we're looking at a 60% chance of showers. They say mostly starting after 11. High of 63. And then an 80% chance of rain Sunday night with an overnight low of 44. A 20% chance of rain Monday morning. That will gradually clear and the sun will come out, and expect a high of 62. But then we drop down into the 50s, upper 50s Tuesday, 50 on Wednesday. So things do cool off next week, looks like. All right, 8:18, we're going to take about a 5-minute break. Told you got a lot of them. And then we're going to play our interview we had with Robert Sherman from the Walker Aviation Museum. Don't go away.
You've heard of a Four Seasons room, but have you heard of a Four Seasons window? Jennifer here from Trustmark Roofing and Windows. It might surprise you to learn many windows are built to handle only the cold or only the heat, but not both. In Southeast New Mexico, one or the other doesn't cut it. That's why Trustmark windows are built to handle our Four Seasons climate. The scorching summers, the bone-chilling winters, and everything in between. Special glass coating blocks extreme UV rays. A stout frame prevents warping from the extreme weather changes. And insulated glass is like putting your home in a giant styrofoam cooler in the winter and keeps cold out and warmth in. And in the summer, it keeps heat out and cool in. For our Four Seasons weather, get Four Seasons windows. Call today for your no-obligation spring window assessment, 575-755-7663, or visit TrustmarkRoofPros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Central Valley Electric is continually learning and advancing technology that improves electric service, reliability, and safety, and in turn enhancing the quality of life for members that we serve in our local communities. CVE offers an account management program called SmartHub that allows members to track their usage, set up convenient pay methods, and the ability to manage their energy use with smart technologies. A secure system such as SmartHub is an easy tool to use. To sign up, visit cvecoop.org and click SmartHub to get started.
Artesia General Hospital has welcomed cardiologist Luther Weathers to the team. Dr. Weathers is board certified with a subspecialty in cardiovascular diseases. He treats patients with genetic heart defects, heart rhythm disorders, heart failure, coronary artery disease, chronic high blood pressure, and other cardiovascular diseases. Call 575-736-8270 to schedule your visit with Dr. Weathers in Artesia, or visit artesiageneral.com/cardio appointment. Se habla español.
Pressure Services, LLC in Artesia, New Mexico has immediate openings for experienced vacuum truck, kill truck, and hydrovac operators. Operators must hold a Class A CDL, at least 2 years of experience, and all positions require a clean driving record and must be able to pass a DOT drug and alcohol screening. Pressure Services offers great pay with IRA benefits and employer contribution towards health benefits. Please apply in person at 2702 North Freeman in Artesia, New Mexico. Equal opportunity employer.
If you're missing a tooth or several teeth, a dental implant may be the ultimate solution. Implants look and feel so much like real teeth that you probably forget you have an implant. Maupin & Brown Dentistry is one of New Mexico's most experienced implant providers, with literally thousands of implant patients who are absolutely delighted with the results. Call Maupin & Brown today for an evaluation. You'll be surprised how affordable implants can be. Maupin & Brown, your choice for experienced, state-of-the-art dentistry.
At New Mexico Gas Company, our priority is your safety. That's why we add a rotten egg smell to natural gas to help alert you of the presence of natural gas. So if you ever notice a rotten egg smell, it might be a natural gas leak. We recommend that you leave the area immediately, and from a safe distance, call New Mexico Gas Company at 1-888-NM-GAS-CO or 911. We're New Mexico Gas Company, and our priority is keeping you safe. That's why we're here. Learn more at nmgco.com.
This is an important service update from Plateau for Roswell, Dexter, and Hagerman customers. We are aware that many of our valued customers in Roswell are experiencing service outages due to the recent weather event. Our teams are working diligently to restore services as quickly as possible. We understand how important staying connected is, and we appreciate your patience as we navigate these challenges. Please know that our top priority is getting services working safely and efficiently. Thank you for your understanding and support from all of us here at Plateau.
Do you love your car?
Yes.
Well, Roswell Hyundai wants to help you keep your current car with a lower payment. Introducing Refi with Hyundai. Roswell Hyundai wants to help you refinance your current vehicle with rebates and discounts to lower your payment. If you're ready to upgrade, Roswell Hyundai has a fresh inventory of new and pre-owned vehicles with special financing available regardless of your credit with I-10 accepted. Don't forget, all new Hyundais come with a 5-year bumper-to-bumper warranty and 3 years of free oil changes. So, what makes Roswell Hyundai the #1 used car dealership in southeastern New Mexico? You do. Roswell Hyundai, 1909 West 2nd.
You deserve to enjoy your health. You deserve to enjoy your passions. We're here to make that easy. If you're over 65, Medicare is yours, and New Mexico Aging Services is your expert, unbiased guide to finding the best plan for you at no charge. So instead of navigating Medicare on your own, spend your time doing what you love. We'll help you get the care you need to keep doing it. Medicare, make it yours today. 2024 open enrollment is October 15th through December 7th. Get started today at aging.nm.gov/Medicare. This announcement was paid for in part by Grant 2201 NMMDR from the Administration for Community Living, sponsored by this station and the NMBA.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The U.S. Treasury once considered producing donut-shaped coins. They instead decided to go with coin-shaped donuts. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 27 minutes after 7 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from the Walker Aviation Museum, Robert Sherman back with us. Good morning. How are you doing today?
Good, Mike. I know everybody's out there. Robert Sherman again? Yeah. Supposed to be Doug Weezer. Now, Doug, you drive careful. He's headed up the Rio Doso. So.
Yeah. He keeps using that business excuse to get out of
I
these
know.
Those businessmen. But, of course, folks not familiar, Walker Aviation Museum, which is located in our Roswell Air Terminal here, is a museum that is devoted to life when life was a little different down at that end of the town, when it was the military base, Roswell Army Airfield, later Walker Air Force Base, and then so it covers the history of that. And, of course, our Roswell's mission during the Cold War era as well, too. So that's kind of the start of the museum. And then, of course, it works a lot with youth today and STEM-related career fields and showing aviation technology, encouraging, showing the history, but encouraging the young folks to pursue careers in aviation and STEM.
Yeah, if you were brought up in Roswell like I was, as my wife would say, there was the sound of freedom overhead all the time.
Yep.
And until 67, you'd have, all kinds of B-52s or B-36s or KC-135s, whatever, all flying overhead.
I'll say as time went on, the louder they got in the jet. The more jet engines got on the wings, the louder they got.
That's right.
By the time a buff got there with, 8 inches or whatever that takes got, it's good and loud.
The B-36 was with those big props, all 6 of them, and the 4 jet engines. My mother wasn't too fond of that aircraft because of the vibration and things come off her piano and stuff, just because we lived down on South Adams.
Yeah,
when they took the north-south runway there, it came right over our house.
So you had to literally nail them pictures to the wall to keep it falling down every time a plane landed or took off.
Well, we got a little water out at the terminal like the rest of the terminal did, and so we're closed for about 2 weeks as of a few days ago. They're down there, really a whole bunch of workers down there trying to clean things up, and our little area, we're getting a new carpet, and a couple of walls have to be replaced.
Okay.
So I know Bob Donnell and I tried to move stuff around in one way, and I went back yesterday, and they'd already moved things back to the north side of the wall, so they're working on the carpet and stuff. So.
Gotcha. Any of the collection?
No, since we had that flood in the dike that broke about 2-3 years ago, and we had a lot of water in the air terminal.
So that was a lesson learned.
That was a lesson learned. So everything we had was, 12 to 18 inches off the floor.
Good deal. So everything.
Even our computer was sitting on like 3 sets of bricks sitting way up on the floor. So if the water came in there, it wouldn't.
So fortunately, the only thing that got messed up was some flooring and some walls.
Yeah, that's about it.
Carpet and things. So no big deal. So
yeah.
Good news there.
things will be fine for all to keep and see for next generation.
So if you're out there and if you're interested, check with us, and we're open about 2.5 hours, 2 3/4 hours before the midday departure, and that's pretty easy to find. You can just go on Google and just do AA.com, and then you hit status, flight status, comes up, and then you just put in ROW for Roswell, leaving Roswell, going to DFW, Dallas Fort Worth, and it'll give you which different. There's several times they're taking off, and you can click on that, and it'll see if it's on time. And anyway, but that's it gives you the hours.
Yeah.
That changes. Seems like every 6 weeks or month or so. Right now, it's at 11:40 takeoff.
Okay. But it's usually around that 11 o'clock hour. So
11 to 12-ish, yeah.
So usually about 9:30, 10 you guys
about 9:30 or 9:45, yeah.
They'd open till what, about 1-ish or so?
No, a little after 12 because then I guess nobody's there anymore.
Gotcha. Afternoon, it kind of goes
So
down.
about 12:15, 12:30.
Okay.
Usually close up. So, but we have a new phone number now. It's 575-755 U.S. Air Force.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it's 8723, which is USAF.
Nice.
But, 575, but it's a 755 prefix, and then it's USAF.
575-755 USAF.
Right.
That's pretty. That flows really well.
Yeah.
Nice.
So anyway.
And then you could do it to the tune of "Off We Go into the Wild Blue Yonder." Maybe you can make it even easier.
Yeah.
575 USAF. I don't know. We'll work on that. Need some music people to work on that.
But one of the things that's been going on is Lee O'Connor. He's a Atlas missile historian, and we sent him several boxes of information on the Atlas missile that we got from Terry Isaacs. And he's been organizing that and digitizing everything, and
cool
for a month or so. And he's going to be sending that back here in a couple of weeks with our stuff. But anyway, just kind of getting that up. Matter of fact, we had someone come in. Her name was Sue, but I haven't gotten to talk with her yet. But she was requesting for us to ask the air terminal folks if she could put up another monument, and kind of as part of the history I'd forgot about that. I think it was silo number 5, but I might be wrong. But that's what I saw on a note. But one of the silos, when they were building it, collapsed, and there were 11 people killed.
Oh.
And but then that was only, and they were thinking about putting up a little monument for recognition of those 11 people that gave their lives for building that, because they were trying to build it in a hurry and
sure
a bunch of stuff. So
corners were probably cut, and that's why the tragedy happened. I'm going to guess, but yeah.
The while back, several months ago, we had the Western Pilot Service pilots here from Buckeye, Arizona. They were here to fight fires, and we got several adults and some young folks that were able to go out, and they said, "Yeah, come out and see our planes." So we went out there, and the kids got to crawl in the cockpit of these little,
cool.
They were turboprop, single-engine aircraft.
Nice.
Yeah. So that was kind of fun for them. Stuff like that.
That's cool.
Our current board members, myself, I'm secretary, and Allie Bishop, she is the treasurer. Katie Yates used to be the treasurer. Sandy Correa used to be the president up until August 24.
She was just on the show yesterday.
Yeah. Oh, was she?
For her, wearing a different hat, her PEO hat, her philanthropic educational organization.
Yeah.
But, yes.
My mother used to be in PEO.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Bob Donnell, he was past president a long time ago, back in the dark ages. Juliana Halverson, Jerry Cloffer, Friar Jarek Nowacki, Stephen Miller as a member, and Doug Weiser. He's our new president as of August, and he'll run up until August of 2025. Peggy Bolin, and a new member is Josh Bootson, New Mexico youth. He deals with careers and stuff for people. He's out there at the university.
Of course, that works great with your educational side of things that Walker does.
So right now, with the volunteers that we've got out there is between Bob and Donnell and myself, we decide who's going to do Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. Steve Miller does Wednesdays, and Allie Bishop does Thursdays. So it makes it pretty nice. If we can get a couple more people, or at least one more, then we all could have our own day.
Yeah.
Unless you're going to go on vacation or something happen. Like Allie Bishop, bless her heart, she's out on a tour, on a cruise right now.
Oh, good for her.
So she'll be gone for a couple weeks.
Hopefully she's not in any place with hurricanes.
Yeah, really.
I don't know. I don't think there's any going on at the moment, but it just seems like there's been a lot of that kind of stuff lately. But anyway,
everybody probably knows what the mission is out there: is to educate and inspire all generations concerning the history and legacy of Walker Air Force Base. Initially Roswell Army Airfield, and encourage our youth to explore careers in science, technology, engineering, and math, with an emphasis on aviation. So,
and the thing I like about for folks to really check out, and this is something I recommend you do, is obviously because of what's going on with the renovation or repairs over there, you can't go to the museum for the next week or so here. But go to the website, wafbmuseum.org. There you can read. You can access pretty much all the if you want to learn about STEM and all that, you don't have to go into the museum to do that. You can actually find all of that on the website.
We have a lot
here.
of stuff under history too.
Yeah,
you can click on history.
So you can kind of get a prequel to the museum through there. But if you are interested in learning more about some of the education and like maybe you're interested in getting a pilot's license, guess what? They have a simulator that is a real deal simulator that you could train on and actually get credited flying hours towards getting a pilot's license and kind of setting the table for you to work on your pilot's license. If you're interested in that kind of stuff, the museum offers that. Go to the website, do some research, read more about it, get a hold of Robert or Doug or Bob or any of the board members. They'd be happy to tell you more about it. For youth, if your youth groups and things are interested in doing some stuff like that, they love working with youth groups and church groups and various groups like that. That's a great way to kind of read more and understand while we wait for the museum to be able to open its doors back up here for another week or so. Right. Also, if you'd like to contribute, the money-wise, financially, there is a financial way to donate now button kind of thing at the website. That is a great way to support the museum. If you say you can't serve as a board member or serve as a volunteer, but you love the mission and love what it's about, you can make a donation through that. And that is a great way to help keep the doors open and keep the ability to collect and to do what they do every day.
Yeah, we don't bring in nearly even. It doesn't even start getting close to the UFO museum.
Yeah,
but we have a little jar for people come in and they can donate. $1, $5, whatever they want.
And though that dries up right now while the museum's not open, so this is another way people can contribute in that meantime.
And we get from that about $300 to $400 a month. But so that's not much. I mean, we had.
But it's better than nothing, right? You're like, hey, this keep you in the nonprofit world. Every dime counts. That's just how it works.
And if you go to the UFO museum several years ago, they had an $80,000 thing that we could participated in, and we updated a lot of the posters up above, like the timelines and stuff.
Oh yeah.
So you can get a really good, actually better than we have in our museum, of flow of time and what happened at different times.
Sure.
As you walk in the museum, that's the first thing you come to is did that, and we kind of help participate and get that all upgraded and stuff. So
kind of putting that perspective.
So it gets give you really some pretty good history of Roswell Army Airfield and Walker Air Force Base.
Sure, and that's and when the museum does open up here, that's what I love about it so much too is it celebrates not. I mean, yes, it celebrates the parts like, okay, these aircraft served from this time to this time and all that, but it's more of a tribute to the people that called the base home.
Right.
There's as much history of the baseball team or the
yeah, we got this jacket of guy and when
the life of families at Walker or at Roswell Army Airfield, depending on the time there. There's a lot of stuff that just kind of shows that books. Things of the era, furniture, just it is really. I love that because it goes a layer deep to the history. It goes into the people and what
this
life
kind of
is
recliner
like.
with a big globe on top, you know, for women when they had their hair done.
The hair did up. Yeah.
It was at the Walker place. And we have a little bicycle that was used to deliver mail on the base.
I love seeing that. Gives people perspective of like what lifestyle was like during this eras and things like that too. So please, when it does open, come check that part out. But if you'd love to be a volunteer, like I said, if you love talking with people and love hearing, and I will tell you, particularly in the summer months, you know, you might see some during the holiday season here, but probably more heavier during the summer months when people are on vacation and things. You get a lot of folks and families that had connections to the base,
right.
Whether they're grandparents or someone served there, or they had family there, or maybe their dad was a kid there when grandpa served or grandma. You know what I mean? It was like, and so they all come and they tell these stories. Sometimes they bring, you know, treasures, memories from that time period, and they're looking to have a connection with their family again from here. And with that, you get these amazing stories of life at Roswell and life at our base, or vice versa. You get to share some stuff with them about their loved ones. And so those are those magic moments that happen every time. So if you love that kind of thing, be a volunteer. You'll get to experience that kind of stuff.
And flight simulators, you're right. We were able to buy a couple of those, but they were really good Lockheed software, and they can fly 50 different aircraft, amazingly, and you can land at almost any airport in the world.
Yeah.
And so you get a pilot in there, and he's kind of set up for a little Cessna right now for when we work with the kids or the youth.
Sure.
And but I said, well, you can select, 747 or whatever, and land in Istanbul, Turkey at 9 o'clock at night in the rain. So on the screen you get, nighttime, you get a little splickle on the screen, and so.
Does it? G was curious, because this is where the egghead in me, or the fun part. Can you pick like aircraft of lore, like could you in theory fly a P-51 Mustang on this thing, or they don't carry that?
I think there's some like that, and you can fly down the Hudson River.
Okay, because I know you can fly current military aircraft, but I didn't know if they're like, we can get you some World War II era fighters or something like that.
What I came across though was my sister's son was flying it, and it was flying down a low level around New York City.
Yeah.
And he said, well, that building actually isn't there, because he lives in Manhattan. It's on the other side.
Okay. Yeah.
And I said, well, ever since 9/11, get really accurate stuff so people can get software like this, practice on how they're going to run into a building.
They don't, exactly. Yeah, they don't want to give them too much of an exact match.
Not totally accurate in certain buildings and stuff, especially if they're key facilities.
Sure, if they're using these as landmarks or whatever.
That's thanks to the terrorists in our world, where we had to make those changes.
A lesson learned from that one, absolutely. But yeah, because I think about it, and obviously a P-51 Mustang doesn't even know what a computer is. So I'm like, can you even recreate? That's all stick and rudder. That's all mechanical. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And of course, we have the upcoming Reno air races. That's going to be interesting for Roswell. And
that'll be exciting. And I think that'll be great for the museum, too, because I imagine there's going to be a lot of pilots and folks, because there's a lot of them are military.
Probably everybody, or not everybody out there, but people that have been out the museum. And Jenna Lanfor, used to teach aircraft mechanics at the college, and she left. Her husband got a job in North Carolina flying.
Yes.
So she just left. You can't believe this, but the day she was still checking out of her house was the day it flooded.
Oh.
And she got that 4 feet of water, broke out her thing, and she said she lost her grandmother's diamond rings and all the jewelry, and all that stuff happened. So they were getting ready to move to North Carolina, and then all of a sudden, I guess they had to get a smaller U-Haul because they didn't have anything left, They were right at, I think they lived down on 809 North Kentucky, right there at the bridge, right at the, right at the Spring River Bridge.
The heart of the
on Kentucky.
Flooding,
Yeah. So anyway, I really feel bad, and she was seeming in good spirits. I called the office up there to ask a question, and it's diverted right to North Carolina because she's still kind of working, but at a distance until they get somebody hired to replace her.
Okay, well, I mean, that's...
But it's just another example. She was telling me, and it was just like she had to get her 3 dogs that weigh about 60 pounds. She had them on harnesses, and she stepped out of her front porch, and she went up to about her waist in water, and the dogs had to swim.
Wow.
And she had to wade over to to get out of that. And she said their next door neighbors weren't there, and the 3 dogs drowned that were in the house, and just all the stuff she was telling me. And I just realized, like a lot of people already know in Roswell, of all the things that if you know people, you can give them a hand or help them. They really need the help.
There's hard times for a lot of people. Yeah. People are still even people that you think are all right may not be as all right as you think.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So it's
looking out for everybody, watch each other, and take care of each other. That's that's the message.
We got the word out to the schools and trying to, they call in and get us got a week or two in advance to come out and go through our little, education program that we have for the students, the flight simulators and stuff. But another thing is several people have helped us out there, but that aren't actually members. For example, Haven Skills updated our inventory. Nora Fulkerson helped us arrange the museum for its best effect. Peggy Donnell, she's Bob Donnell's wife. She was a pilot, so she goes out and helps with kids on the flight simulators.
Nice.
And helps us do all kinds of stuff out there. She was out there when we were moving stuff, getting ready for the flood repair. Scott Stark, who while he was still working at the Air Center, was helpful in the early years. And then Jen and Land Force helped a lot. We just talked about. And Steve Griffin donated and mounted a bunch of professional weather equipment. He was a professional weather guy in the Navy. So we don't necessarily have everything that was Walker. We have interesting things sometimes that are just military.
Yeah.
But,
it's all cool.
Huh?
It's all cool.
Yeah. So anyway, and Ron, I was going to mention that Ron Lynch, bless his heart, he helped us out, and he built a little 10,000 watt generator that's kind of lightning, moves up and down these 2 rods, and get these kids in there and have them pull down that switch and see that lightning go up and down the thing. They like that. And he built us a Redstone missile, really accurate, nice models, B-25, B-29, and AT-11, some of that stuff. So he's gave 2 little motors that people can check out, and just some of the STEM stuff that we have there.
And that's kind of stuff where even the younger kids would like, and they get to kind of, the Jacob's ladder, and, they get to turn the crank or whatever and get it. And so getting kids, the younger kids, even into STEM stuff, that's kind of turning those pages there. And, as the kids get a little older, then you show them the flight simulator and the more advanced toys there, cool things like that. But that's, and then I highly recommend you get your family, come out and or maybe definitely if you have a youth group or a church group or whatever, please reach out to the museum. Go to the website, wafbmuseum.org, call the new USAF number, and let's see if we can make arrangements to have your group come, and they can set up a time for tours. And usually, like, you guys will do that. Usually work best in, like a group of little 7. If it's more than that, then it'll kind of break them up in half. We'll go do, one certain activities while the others on simulators, and then they kind of flip over and, do the other thing.
Yeah.
So, but again, you guys will work with all kinds of groups on that kind
One time when I'm sitting out there, I ask people, and I know I'm not trying to be nosy, but do you have a child or cousin or, neighbor kid that's between 12 and 18 years old? And if you do, we give them this little sheet of paper that shows them how to walk through going to our website, wafbmuseum.org, and then selecting education. And then at that point, there's all kinds of information they can actually activate right on their smartphone as well as their computer. And, for example, then the first thing they can come to is a thing on how to do a Venn diagram on how to come up with a career. And then we have 12 other videos on YouTube. One is Careers in Education. The other one is Eastern New Mexico University Roswell Aviation Maintenance Technician Program. A Day in the Life of a Wind Turbine Engineer. Crumlin Auto Group and the Eastern New Mexico University Roswell Auto Mechanic Program. Eastern Energy Careers and Career Cluster and Oil Well Workers Career Video. What does a registered nurse do? U.S. Air Force Aerospace Ground Equipment. That's about a 2-minute. U.S. Air Force Air Traffic Control. U.S. Air Force Electronic Principles. and U.S. Air Force Geospatial Intelligence. And the last one they see is a day in the life of CIA, 6 hiring areas at CIA.
Wow.
So anyway, they can watch that. They can go on down and watch 38 professional pilot training ground school videos that total up to be 12 hours long.
Wow.
And you watch all those things, and you're interested in becoming a pilot, you got a big jump ahead.
You're almost a pilot, I think.
Then if you live in the Roswell area, now this doesn't apply to people that are coming through and going back to Connecticut, but they can click further down, and we have listed 480 jobs alphabetically that are in the Roswell region that we got out of 3 phone books that are somewhat STEM oriented.
Very good.
So they, gives them a lot of things that they can kind of, what we didn't have in high school is give them a chance to kind of look at stuff.
Yeah, pursue things, whether they're close to home or wherever they want to go. So that's a good thing. So again, wafbmuseum.org is the website there. Anything else we got before we run out of time here, Robert?
Sometimes there's people come in and they think that the boxcar and Enola Gay all came out of Roswell and bombed Japan and then came back to Roswell. But Roswell Army Airfield was a advanced, meaning pilot training base where they trained pilots in multi-engine aircraft, so they went into B-17s and B-24s.
Yeah.
That's why when you see something with different organizations during World War II that were flying B-24s or B-17s, there's a big connection there with Walker, because we graduated 14,000 pilots and bombardiers during World War II that went on to fly those type of aircraft.
Absolutely.
So most likely a lot of those organizations, 8th Air Force in England or whatever, had people that were trained in Roswell.
I about to say, Boxcar and the Enola Gay weren't ever assigned to Roswell. They landed here and were here for
But they came back
purposes.
after the war was over, and the training stopped, and it became a bomber base instead of a training base.
Yeah, but more likely the crew and of those planes and everything else, they probably spent time in Roswell in some training situation at some point or another there. Whether they did all their training there or part of their training, it was.
But initially, when they were training to go to, do their thing over there, that was at Wendover Field in Utah, and then they went on to Tinian. Matter of fact, by the way, I was going to mention something right quick before we have another 30 seconds here.
Yeah.
I'm just telling people, if you go on YouTube and try to find the Enola Gay B-29 Super Fortress, and it's 1 hour and 28 minutes long. It tells you some biography of Paul Tibbets, the pilot, the development of the B-29, all the training they went through to get ready to drop atomic bombs. But that's pretty interesting. It's 1 hour and 28 minutes long. Okay. Also, 5 interesting books that I've read recently is Countdown 1945 with Chris Wallace. That's talking about getting ready to drop the atomic bomb. Okay. Enola Gay by Gordon Thomas. That's back in 1977. World War II 100. That's ranking the most influential figures in World War II 100. Then recently, I just got in on the Killing series.
Yes.
The Killing of Patton and the Killing. Right now, I just finished Killing the Rising Sun, How America Vanquished World War II Japan. And it gets a lot of stuff on the 509th and stuff on that situation.
Interesting. Yeah,
but what is interesting about this book, it's by Bill O'Reilly and Martin Dugard, both of those. And they have about 18 books out now.
Yeah.
But,
see, I'm more familiar with the Civil War, the Killing Lincoln, that era.
I'm reading Killing the Mob right now.
Oh,
the history of the mobs and from 1930s to the 1980s. But
a lot of Bobby Kennedy in that one, I'm guessing.
I haven't got to that part yet.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's I just recommend those because they give you information like, wow, I didn't know that. And I've been reading a lot about World War II. They give you little tidbits of interesting information that you keep coming up with that makes it interesting. So
good deal. So Walker, check out the website, wafbmuseum.org. In the meantime, especially since we're still getting some repairs done over at the museum.
Yeah, right.
And, of course, give out the new phone number one more time. The new USAF number, 575-755-USAF, I think it is.
That's right. And you can figure out what the USAF is. I think it's 8723 or something like that.
Yeah, don't give me the numbers here. And, and of course, bring your kids by, please, and ask more about youth groups and things. For
we had a good time during the museum day.
Good deal.
And what we did was had First Tee. He came out and volunteered, and they made all kinds of really cool paper airplanes that you can buy books and have all these faces on them and stuff like that.
Way better than just that one.
So they just built, all the kids came out and played with paper airplanes and stuff. So.
Learn a little more engineering, how paper folds and make it into something else. That's a good deal. Thank you as always, Robert.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time. Tell Doug he's on next time. He has
That's right.
Sorry, you're gonna have to skip work this time.
That's right.
Just kidding. All right, 7:56. Let's do local news real quick before national news. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winners.
A disaster recovery center operated by the state of New Mexico and FEMA is opening now to help New Mexicans affected by the severe storms and flooding. The DRC opening at Roswell Mall, 4501 North Main Street in Roswell in Chavez County. That's right next to the Bath & Body Works store. The center will be open from 10 to 7 weekdays and 10 to 5 on Saturdays, closed on Sundays. Residents and business owners in Chavez County can visit the center and apply for FEMA help, upload any documents, learn about available resources, and get their questions answered in person. United Way Eddy County has honored the late Gary Sims with an award for service to the community. The award was presented during a ribbon-cutting ceremony of the United Way's new Artesia headquarters at 605 West Main Street. Sims' daughter, Anna Whitmire, accepted the award on behalf of her father. Sims was once president of the former United Way of Artesia Board of Directors and frequently acted as the organization's public face. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
It's time for the Chavez County Sports Report. State volleyball starts today with a lot of teams in action locally. Roswell in Class 5A, out in Class 4A, Goddard and district rival Artesia are both in the draw for the that classification. 3A, Dexter's in it. Gateway Christian in 1A. So it's one sport off to another, but let's not leave soccer just yet because NMMI are the state champs in Class 3A boys soccer for the second year in the row, defeating Santa Fe Prep over this past weekend by a 2-1 count. That was back on Friday, behind 1-0 when Javier Lopez tied the game just before halftime with a header in the 72nd minute. Nicholas Barcenas Barbien with the game winner. Congratulations to the Colts, who finished 16-5. Santa Fe Prep only had one loss coming into that. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
All across America, this is the Red Apple Audio Network's Market Report.
I'm James Flippin. U.S. stocks finished mixed yesterday. It was a choppy session, but stocks finished little changed overall. The post-election rally tapering off a bit. The latest inflation data shows that consumer prices rose 2.6% annually in October, largely in line with expectations. Today, we'll get a look at wholesale inflation with the October PPI, and weekly jobless claims are due. The U.S. federal budget balance dipped lower in October. The forecast deficit was exceeded. And in company-specific news, genetic testing company 23andMe announced it's cutting 40% of its workforce, about 200 jobs. The company says it faces substantial doubt about its ability to keep operating, and the company's share price has also fallen 70% this year. 23andMe may consider selling or licensing therapies it's developed using its collected genetic information. Yesterday, a down session for semiconductor stocks. One of note, AI darling NVIDIA, which slipped 1% during afternoon trading. On the whole, the Dow Jones Industrial Average gained 47 points, the S&P 500 up 0.02%, and the NASDAQ Composite down 0.26%. That's the market report. I'm James Flippin.
This is the Red Apple Audio Network's Market Report.
If your insurance rates are going up and the last time you saw a decrease was the Reagan administration, folks at SID, an American Patriot Insurance Agency, they put the freedom of choice back in your hands with their exclusive Rate and Bind online portal. Visit ampatins.com or call 888-322-3565 to save an average of 25% on auto, home, renters, business, even pet insurance. Call 888-322-3565 today.
Attention, Roswell and surrounding areas. Roswell Ford knows recovering from an unexpected natural disaster is stressful, and our hearts go out to everyone who experienced loss due to the flooding. The damage left behind is devastating, but we're already seeing what it means to be Roswell strong, and we acknowledge and appreciate the heroic efforts of local authorities, first responders, and National Guard rescue teams. We've already received and continue to receive special shipments of new Fords and quality pre-owned vehicles available for immediate delivery during our massive Super Tent Sale. It's at our temporary location on West 2nd Street between Toyota and Allsup's. These new and pre-owned vehicles without flood damage are being offered to the public at unprecedented savings. We've instructed our staff to take any car in any condition. In fact, even if it doesn't run, we'll come get it and give you a generous allowance toward a new Ford or high-quality pre-owned vehicle. And we'll work with your insurance company to help you get what you deserve at Roswell Ford's temporary location on West 2nd Street between Toyota and Allsup's. Thank you.
How do you find a roofing contractor you can trust? You can randomly pick one, cross your fingers and hope for the best. Or maybe you can ask a psychic to predict who's trustworthy. Here's a better idea. Choose one who prefers using America's most trusted roofing brand, Owens Corning. And rest easy, because Owens Corning screens their contractors for reliability, professionalism, and customer service. Why take any chances? Owens Corning, trusted contractors, proven products. For an Owens Corning preferred contractor, visit owenscorning.com/roofing.
For a free estimate, give Do Right Roofing a call today, 575-623-2273.
Find them fast in names and numbers. Roswell Appliance Outlet, the area price leader for new appliances, is having a store-wide refrigerator liquidation sale now through Black Friday. All in-stock refrigerators are marked down at least 50% off MSRP, and all come with a warranty and name brands that you know and trust. Great financing and delivery options are available. Hurry in while selection is at its best. Save 50% or more during the store-wide refrigerator liquidation sale at Roswell Appliance Outlet, now through Black Friday, 600 South Main Street in Roswell.
At Anderson Bethany Funeral Home and Crematorium, we honor and pay tribute to the achievements of your loved one by celebrating the life you shared together. Anderson Bethany Funeral Home and Crematorium is compassionate and cares about our local community and the families we serve here in southeastern New Mexico. Locally owned and operated, we will be here to help you decide how to celebrate the bond you've shared and pay tribute to the unique individual you've lost. Visit us at 2609 South Main in Roswell or call 622-5888.
Talk radio has landed on the all-new 106.5 FM KEND Roswell.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Maybe President-elect Trump's most controversial nomination, that of now former Florida GOP Congressman Matt Gaetz for Attorney General. Not only has the left gone ballistic, but never-Trumpers on the right seem to be pretty upset as well. Other Trump nominees include Senator Marco Rubio for Secretary of State. And Republicans are savoring the prospect of holding on to their House majority.
With the presidency, the Senate, and the House in hand, the Republican Party ushers in a new political era. Speaker Mike Johnson said House Republicans have a mandate to quickly implement President-elect Trump's policies, such as significantly scaling back environmental regulations and ending what he called wokeness and radical gender ideology.
And that's correspondent Bernie Bennett. Wildfires continue to rage across parts of New York and New Jersey.
Northeast states are dealing with some of the driest conditions they've seen in nearly 120 years, with numerous wildfires burning in places that haven't seen significant rain since August. The Jenkins Creek wildfire at the New York-New Jersey border is about 50% contained. In New York City, Fire Commissioner Robert Tucker talked about the conditions as a blaze at Inwood Hill Park tinged the air in Upper Manhattan with smoke.
This is exactly what we expect to see when it's been as historically dry as it's been.
Governors of New Jersey and New York have put those states under drought warnings and are calling on residents to voluntarily conserve water. I'm Jennifer King.
On the West Coast, the massive mountain fire in Ventura County, California, now about 80% contained. The blaze has charred more than 20,000 acres. Under a consent agreement with the feds, Ford will pay the government up to $165 million. This for moving too slowly on a recall and for failing to give accurate recall information. Watching Wall Street, the Dow is down 19 points, the NASDAQ off 33. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
The Philippines is under the highest level of weather alerts as a powerful super typhoon makes landfall.
The authorities say it's expected to bring 3-meter-high coastal waves and winds that could inflict strong damage on buildings that are normally considered to be a low risk. This is the 5th devastating storm to hit the archipelago in 3 weeks. So floodwaters are already high and emergency resources are running low. This year's typhoon system has been especially deadly. 159 people have been killed in storms since September. Officials worry that number will rise by the end of the week.
The BBC's Celia Hatton. The head of the UN Atomic Energy Agency is warning that the space for negotiation and diplomacy is getting smaller over Iran's nuclear program as wars in the Middle East rage and as President-elect Trump will soon be returning to the White House. News and analysis, townhall.com. What's in a name? Quite a bit, according to the City by the Bay.
A federal judge has ordered the Port of Oakland to stop using San Francisco Bay Oakland International Airport as its airport's new name, while a lawsuit by the City of San Francisco over copyright infringement is ongoing. San Francisco sued over what it said is a trademark violation. It asked a federal judge to issue a preliminary injunction saying Oakland Airport's new name is confusing people who want to fly to the San Francisco International Airport. The judge on Tuesday issued an order agreeing with the copyright violation argument, saying San Francisco spent millions to develop its brand. Keith Peters reporting.
Arguing that it's unconstitutional, some gun rights groups are challenging Maine's 72-hour waiting period for firearms purchases. They've gone to court. Maine, one of a dozen states, had such a waiting period on the books. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The demolition, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Crazy Earnals
of Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Thursday, everybody.
Yes.
We are just about a little less than an hour away from volleyball playoff action. And,
we could get cut off at a point.
Yes. Oh, well, they're scheduled to go at 10, and so I think so probably about 9:50 if assuming everything's starting on time, which I think at this point in the day is good. But we'll have all of that for you. Of course, Goddard plays at 10. Roswell will play at noon today, and then if Goddard wins, at 10. They will play again at 4. If they lose, they'll play again tomorrow at 10. Roswell will play at noon. If they win today, they will play at 6. If they lose at noon, they will play at noon tomorrow.
Yep. So they do the switcheroo if they lose.
And then if they win both games, I still think they play at noon and 10 tomorrow, respectively. Just a different opponents and a different but they'll still be on the winner side of the bracket.
Right.
Because what happens is a double elimination in volleyball. So they lose that first game. If they lose it early, then they drop to the loser's bracket and really have to battle back to get in. The later you get into the loser's bracket, the less you have to battle back.
Right.
So if you drop day one games, you really got to play a bunch to get back. So tomorrow they'll probably have to play a bunch of games if they lose the first game. So,
by the way, if a winner can't be determined, a Connect 4 tournament will be held this coming Monday.
I think they should do Plinko.
You know what's funny? Every time you go to like a state fair or like a fall festival and they have a Plinko board, there's something inside of me that's just like, I want to go play Plinko. I want to go drop a disc. I just want to do one. There's just something that, and maybe this is just it unlocks the inner sick me when I was a kid sitting watching Price is Right.
Yeah.
But that always seemed like the most fun game in the world on Price is Right to play. Like they're all fine, but Plinko looked so much fun.
You know what though? I think the world was ripped off Plinko. Like you ever watched? There's a game show, I think it's called The Wall.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty much Plinko.
It is. No, it's Plinko, yeah.
It's Plinko, but with like questions.
Is that still on?
I think it comes on during the summers.
Okay.
So I think it was on during the summer.
I watched the first season of that like religiously.
Yeah.
Because again,
I've only watched it like once or twice, but I watched it and I remember saying, this is like a human-sized version of Plinko.
That's what I love. Chris Hardwick's the host, right?
Yes, Chris Hardwick.
I remember that. But no, I'm something about, and maybe it's my inner like redneck because, you know, rednecks like shiny stuff, but we also like silly sounds. And something about that disc, the thing, that's just, it's like tearing the cellophane cover off of a new phone or something like that. It's just so satisfying. You know?
I get that. Absolutely. Here. I'm going to do things on the fly right now.
Look at Mike flying by the seat of his pants. This is live radio, people. This is how you know we're live.
Yeah. Now I'll tell you about it when we go to a commercial break.
All right. But yeah, just a reminder, also high school football action, Roswell Coyotes. I was going to let you do your thing while I ran.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. I finished.
Oh, sweet. Roswell Coyotes in action tomorrow night. They will be taking on the Hornets of Highland High. That game with a pregame 6:45 kickoff at 7 o'clock. You can hear it on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM and see it live HD video over at ksvptv.com under the Roswell Coyotes tab. Artesia Bulldogs in action on Saturday taking on Lovington. That game over on AM 990 and 93.7 FM KSVP and online worldwide at ksvptv.com. So tell your friends and family in Latvia they can tune in and watch either the Coyotes or the Bulldogs or both playing this weekend.
When you say Highland High Hornets, it makes me think of the movie Pump Up the Volume.
That's all right.
Remember that movie?
Vaguely. He
went to Hubert H. Humphrey High School.
He did go to Hubert H. Humphrey. I only ever seen it like once all the way through.
But, what he called it, I can't say on the radio. But it was just a lot of H's. Go watch Pump Up the Volume.
I've always been a fan of alliteration. So yeah, the Hornets of Highland High.
Put it this way. Kids, if you want to see your mom's dream boat, it stars Christian Slater. Most of your moms were dreaming about him when that movie was popular. So
it's probably true, actually.
Some might still be dreaming. I've seen him more recently. He still acts and still he ain't the status he was say 30 years ago. But
there were
Christian Slater still doing his thing.
Maybe I wasn't really privy to a lot of my mom's crushes because I didn't really ask.
Yeah.
But the one that I remember growing up was so obscure. Nobody's really, except for like a very tight group of like evangelical Christians, going to know who I'm talking about. Carmen.
Oh, okay.
You know who Carmen is?
Yeah.
He's a Christian singer.
I've heard
My
of him.
mom was in love with this man.
Yeah.
She like had all of his albums. She was obsessed with it. He kind of had like if to compare it to somebody you know,
Yeah.
David Copperfield.
Yeah.
He kind of looked like David Copperfield.
Okay. I got a feeling your mom would be a big Guy Penrod fan.
She loves Guy. No, she was so jealous of us.
I can see her thinking with the flowing locks and the whole deal. Yeah,
adores Guy
I can see
Penrod.
that going on. He, you know, he's kind of he sings religious songs.
Well, he's an Oak Ridge boy. My mom has a thing for all of them. You know, the whole group.
You know, it's like it's never mind.
There's something about You're right. But I'm going to say it anyways. There's something about someone like a Colt Gibson that just has a draw. He's an older fella, but he's just got this swarthiness about him, this Lothario-ness about him.
It's like a Chris Christopherson adjacency.
it's a top button of a button down opened up, just enough chest muff coming through.
Like it's like that same thing that Sean Connery has that I don't get either. That women were fine. You know what I mean? Like I knew women that were decades younger than Sean Connery that thought Sean Connery was the dreamiest man alive.
100%, yeah. And again, that's just the swarthy.
I mean, different, but the same evocative, there's just a certain thing. It's like Chris, like I put the guys and those in that Chris Christopherson camp.
Mm-hmm.
But there's something, but it's the same thing with the Sean Connery camp people.
Right.
You know, like Sam Elliott's one of those guys.
Yep.
That no matter what.
Kenny Rogers, very much same way. He's he's not what you would call classically beautiful, but he's a very handsome, he's a rugged fella.
I just saw a little meme on social media earlier, speaking of Kenny Rogers, reminding me about the movie Six Pack from 1982, where he was the NASCAR driver. Had Aaron Gray.
Wow.
There's a couple like famous of the time people in that movie. I can't remember.
It's obscure pull.
Well, you just mentioned Kenny Rogers. Yeah. I just saw it, and it reminded me. It all just kind of.
Six Pack. I never even heard of that.
Look at that movie.
I'm
Six Pack.
Look into it. Yeah.
1982ish, I believe it came out, somewhere around that ballpark.
I didn't come out until 84. So.
One Kenny Rogers. So, John LeMay is here.
Yes.
Unless Roy's talking to himself.
Well, yeah.
Which
I'm going to guess John's here.
So
it's time.
John's going to join us here. We're also going to get Donna Blake Birchall on the phone. We're going to talk about Holiday with Friends, which is coming up next Saturday, November 23rd at the Historical Society. Kind of a, since we lost the holiday magic this year because of the flooding, this is kind of a way to kind of make up for that a little bit. But John is going to join us, talk about his latest book, which you can get at the event along with Donna, and then we'll just talk about the event here as well, too. So that's coming up here in just a bit, and we'll take that. That'll probably take you right up to volleyball, because like I said, we're going to get kicked off the radio. I'm going to guesstimate around 9:50 to bring you volleyball action here. So let's get the hour going. I'm going to drop you right into weather, and then go to the commercial break, and then on the other side, we're going to talk to John and Donna here. Don't go away.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Things look pretty good for the next few days. High pressure is parked over the Four Corners, and that'll stay there for a while. 70 on our afternoon high today, maybe a little bit over, and we get sunshine. The wind should stay light. Overnight looks clear with upper 30s, and then we're in the mid to upper 70s on Friday. A little bit more breezy and sunny. Sunshine Saturday, shower Sunday. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Hey there, Chief Detective at Trustmark Roofing and Windows. If you think you need a new roof or windows, you should know that Trustmark specializes in just the facts. We investigate your roofs or windows issues, document our research in a thorough case file, then present you with hard evidence of our findings. Witnesses in the southeastern New Mexico area can corroborate Trustmark's just the facts approach. A local customer said, of all the bids we received, Trustmark Roofing was the most detailed and explanatory. And another witness said, I received bids from 3 top-rated roofers and Trustmark was the most thorough and forthright. Get the roofer who specializes in just the facts. Dial 575-755-7663 or visit TrustmarkRoofingLLC.com today. But you didn't hear it from me.
Jennifer here at Trustmark Roofing and Windows. At Trustmark, we're all about our customers, and that is because we have some of the best people in the world at our company.
Call now and ask about our special offers. 575-755-7663.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
So your pecans aren't as big and bountiful as they used to be? Well, what would Jim Gill do?
Hi, this is Ben from Roswell Seed Company. Few people knew as much about pecans as Jim Gill.
And if he were here today, he'd tell you it was time to fertilize. He'd tell you just what you need and show you how to use it. Then he'd make some joke about your neighbors making fun of your nuts.
So when there's trouble with your pecans, head for Roswell Seed Company and ask them, what would Jim Gill do?
When others say no, Roswell Hyundai says
yes.
The bank manager is at Roswell Hyundai for a short time to say yes. No social security number or ITIN number?
Yes.
No driver's license?
Yes.
It doesn't matter. Roswell Hyundai says
yes.
If you have a job that earns at least $12 an hour, Roswell Hyundai wants to say
yes.
Roswell Hyundai wants 100% approval, which means they want to say
yes
to you.
Yes.
Get zero down,
yes.
zero payments till fall,
yes.
plus up to $4,000 more for your trade.
Yes.
On now at the home of Roswell Hyundai, 1909 West 2nd.
Yes!
Artesia General Hospital has welcomed cardiologist Luther Weathers to the team. Dr. Weathers is board certified with a subspecialty in cardiovascular diseases. He treats patients with genetic heart defects, heart rhythm disorders, heart failure, coronary artery disease, chronic high blood pressure, and other cardiovascular diseases. Call 575-736-8270 to schedule your visit with Dr. Weathers in Artesia or visit artesiageneral.com/cardio appointment. Se habla español.
Whether it's NFL on Thursday, Sunday, or Monday night, college football on Saturdays, or Roswell Coyote and Goddard Rocket football on Friday, Game Day Roswell is your #1 destination, with a kitchen open for all your favorite snacks and apps, and a stocked bar with a full line of beers and spirits, with happy hour pricing all the time, including $4 bottles and $5 16-ounce tap. And try the Game Day signature shot, Cinnamon Rocky Mountain Honey Whiskey, open Monday through Friday at 3, Saturdays at 11, and Sundays at 10:30 at 913 South Sunset in Roswell. Game Day, the place to go for football.
I read a quote once that said, when you blame others, you give up your power to change. Hi, this is Pastor Troy and Julie Smotherman for The Joy of Marriage.
We all want to play the victim at times. It even feels good to feel sorry for ourselves. But that puts a lid on our life. It stunts our growth, it damages our marriages, and if you have children, it can even hurt them.
It can seem like a daunting task to take responsibility for our actions. But the Bible says in Philippians 4:13, we can do everything through Christ who gives us strength.
If you've never experienced the love of God, then you don't know your true potential and don't realize how good God is. When you're feeling like a victim, turn to God. He'll give you the strength to move beyond yourself and help you have a victorious marriage.
If you have any questions or would like further information about the Joy of Marriage Ministry, please go to jomconference.com.
Are you ready to succeed? At ENMU Roswell, they cater to your educational needs. Their dedicated facilities and faculties provide you with an exceptional learning experience. From academic programs to behavioral sciences, business, health education, or technical education, ENMU Roswell offers a wide variety of certifications and degree programs designed to take your education and experience to the next level. Register now on campus or online at roswell.enmu.edu. Eastern New Mexico University, Roswell. Success starts here.
Hi, I'm Chef Anthony Noble at the Valley Cafe located at 801 West Brasher in Roswell. We want to welcome you for dinner 5 to 8 p.m. weekdays, except Wednesday we close at 2 p.m. If you haven't tried our food yet, I hope you come try one of our dinner entrees, pasta, soups, salads, burgers, and sandwiches, and our weekly specials as well. Let me make you great dinner. Visit the Valley Cafe at 801 West Brasher, the Orange Building across from Church on the Move in Roswell.
Can't see us in person? Find our full menu on DoorDash, Grubhub, and Uber Eats.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Due to extreme pressure and weather conditions, it literally rains diamonds on Neptune and Uranus. Stop snickering because I said Uranus. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 21 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, John LeMay back with us, and then joining us on the phone this morning is Donna Blake Birchall. Good morning, everybody. Donna, can you hear us okay?
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, good morning. Good morning, John. How are
Good
you
morning.
today?
I'm doing well.
Good deal. Well, unfortunately, the flooding that we had here a couple weeks ago did put a damper on really which is one of Roswell's traditions, and that is the holiday magic show that they have every year at the convention center, where we have some holiday treats and things, traditions that are generally part. You guys are always a part of it every year. You and Donna both are usually there, and so unfortunately we can't have that this year. So I don't know how this all kind of started, but I think a group of people got together and they were able to start something to at least to have not the Holiday Magic Show, obviously, but something a little like it. So we have Holiday with Friends event that's coming up on the 23rd, and it's kind of a very, very mini version of the Holiday Magic Show. A few of the we have few of the vendors that are featured at Holiday Magic are going to be there offering their traditional stuff, and this is kind of a win for everybody. At least we're trying to, because some of these vendors, this is to not be able to participate in Holiday Magic is a big hurt on their pocketbooks.
Yeah,
this is their living, and so to offer something to offset that a little bit. That's what this event, and plus it gets a chance for you to get your holiday traditions and things. So if you've been, craving your pumpkin rolls and various things like that, this event will hopefully help or kind of check both boxes.
Yeah, because we got Debbie Lucas, so that's the linchpin.
That's right. But so we went to, before we kind of talk about the event, let these guys talk a little bit. I do want to have folks mark it on your calendars here for November 23rd, which is not this Saturday, but next Saturday, at the archives facility there at the Historical Society, 208 North Lee. They're going to have a Holiday with Friends event. They're going to have several vendors, like John mentioned, Deborah Lucas with her famous pumpkin rolls, cookies, and other treats. We're going to have Danielle Gonzalez. She's going to have her New Mexico-inspired novelty designs and things. Angela Strange with her handmade journals and bookmarks. Trina Padilla, she's going to bring you unique handmade Christmas decor and gifts, including tabletop trees. Of course, Historical Society will be there with Peter Herb prints and books and things like that. Of course, John and Donna will both be there signing autographs. You can get a first look at John's newest book, which we're going to tell you a little bit more here in just a few minutes. Also going to be featured will be Should Have Been Annie, eclectic custom hat bar with pick your own patches, pins, ribbons, and chains to create one-of-a-kind fanny packs or trucker hats even. So even from bling to, well, more bling. And then this one I misread. I thought it said dessert cowgirl, and I got hungry for a minute. It's Desert Cowgirl, and she does handmade turquoise jewelry and stuff. Georgia Bader there. And then also, it is that season. Pecos Valley Chili Company will also have their famous sweet green chili in hot or mild for put that with the cream cheese and the crackers. All your party guests will be happy. So that's some of the vendors that are going to be there. But so for you guys, though, this is a tradition for you guys too. You guys always come to Holiday Magic, and Donna usually come up, and both of you guys are there, and folks get to come and see your latest books and stuff. And so that, because it is the Historical Society, you guys will also be there offering up books. Donna, what's I know we'll talk about John's newest book here, but what's some of the books that some of your latest stuff that you're going to kind of be steering people towards here on the 23rd?
Okay, my newest book is called New Mexico Scoundrels and Outlaws, Rogues, and Blatantly Wicked Men.
Okay.
And it's kind of the sequel to my Wicked Women book, and it kind of touches on some of the littler known scoundrels of New Mexico, and there's some famous ones in there as well.
Very cool. So if for folks that not if you Donna and we always, I haven't done the joke yet, so I got to do it now. Donna Blake Burchell is the John LeMay of basically Eddy County, and down south there, and vice versa. John LeMay is the Donna Blake Burchell of Chavez County. So, so there's our joke. But so if you have not checked out some of Donna, like the Wicked Women series and some of the ghost. A lot of the ghost town books talking about some of that and some of the paranormal things. So you kind of, all of it's history based, but you kind of cover different genres of history, from the paranormal to the obscure to just general, legends and urbans and all that kind of stuff. The fact from fiction kind of history. A lot of that stuff. So
the fun stuff.
Yeah, and so I invite you to check this one out, and I would imagine, like you said, that when we always hear the stories of the Wild West, there never seems to be enough male scoundrels, and so that's why your Wicked Women book was so unique, and because we always look at the women as the moral of the group, the people, and the people with a little bit of, So I would imagine, when you find this batch, you get to this one you get to probably dig for some more of the obscure ones where it's like these people that were maybe they did this one thing and it just kind of spiraled into this whole, the fish story. Like at one time they robbed one thing and it turned out they robbed the entire village and did it. You know what I mean? It just turns into that thing. So if you love those kinds of stories, that's right in your wheelhouse with actually both of these authors, which kind of transitions to John to your latest book. Your latest book here, which kind of covers some of these legends and lores that we're talking about. But this particular newest book focuses on Chaves County territory.
Yeah, so it's basically like the old Treasures of History books that Elvis Fleming and Ernestine Chester Williams did together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my goal was if Ernestine and Elvis were still alive today, and I tried to find stories that I felt like they would have written about.
Sure.
Like, for instance, at the archives, we got donated some documents about a miracle at St. Mary's that occurred in 1944.
Okay.
And I mean, I feel like we just didn't have that information yet, but that is something I feel like they would have put in Treasures of History. And so, yeah, it's in that spirit and that vein. If you like the Treasures of History series, it's a little bit it's a grab bag of different topics.
Kind of an homage to that a little bit. I gotcha. Well, and that's and this is both you and Donna, both. That's, and I imagine this is why you both are do what you do. It's because of those moments where, history, yes, even ancient history or old history, we're still uncovering new and important details about it that in some cases really change the course of events and the way we perceive things sometimes. Yeah. And so I would imagine that's probably the fun part for you guys, and why you do this is those moments where you uncover something that was little known or maybe just not explored for whatever reason, and then you go in there and do a little digging, and the next thing you know, you're like, wow, there's more to this than I thought there was. Is that, I got to ask, Don, is that a draw for you? Is that kind of the fuel part that fuels you doing this?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love going down rabbit holes. The rabbit holes and the aha moments are the best.
Yeah. I mean, and I can imagine, but it's the same reason why people like watching mysteries on movies and TV. It's the same thing, except for you guys are literally doing it in real life. You're literally playing detectives. So that's why that's where I think if you've never picked up any books from John or Donna, come out to the event here on the 23rd and pick up the latest, but maybe grab one of their earlier books too and say, you know what, I need to, because I think what's going to happen is we just opened a can of worms for you. And you're going to start reading one, and that takes you down the rabbit hole. And that's what we want, is you to find that love of history and maybe not go digging through ghost towns like these two are doing, but, coming and reading it and studying it and understanding it a bit. That's the fun part. So, but, John, while I got you here too, I knew, because another thing when we talk about John and as an author, yes, his main platform is these the books on history and a lot of it local and dealing with New Mexico history and things, but if you are a science fiction fan, I invite you to hit up John on Saturday and talk a little Godzilla with him too, if that's some of your favorite things. John's also one of the kind of historic experts in that world too, and's got several books that are actually considered quite the view on some of the Godzilla history and stuff. They're very considered. Other researchers are using your stuff to do their own research on Godzilla and stuff like that. So while you're there shopping and doing these gifts and getting the cookies and the pumpkin rolls and getting your crafts and things, but if you're a Godzilla nerd, John is too, and y'all will find some kinship there. I'm very curious too for you, Donna. Do you have any guilty pleasure? I'd say it's not a guilty pleasure because it's not really a guilty pleasure, but do you ever desire or write about things that aren't really technically kind of in that history vein or genre, so to speak?
Yes, I've got a couple of novels going right now that delve into the paranormal thing. I've kind of gotten into the paranormal a little bit more than I thought I would, but
now I've got to ask: have you done your own investigations?
I've been on some investigations for the Haunted Hotels book, yes.
Okay.
And they were quite eye-opening.
Well, and that's the part, like, I'm like a lot of Americans. I've watched, like, your Ghost Adventures and, those shows that are on Discovery Channel all the time. And, yeah, they are so fascinating. But to me, they're only fascinating if you're actually in the room. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's great to see it on TV, but let's face it, we live in a world where we can get you to think anything on a computer screen if you want, But if you're in the room and that ball moves or that voice comes out of that recorder or whatever, that's a different world right there. So I was just curious if you have had some experience in that kind of stuff.
I have. I was invited to go to Rodi, New Mexico, which is right above Las Cruces.
Okay.
And one of the buildings that was in my haunted hotels was having a paranormal. And the group came in and it's an old church, used to be a Catholic church, and they had priests buried underneath the altar and everything. So they thought that they would probably get some hits on that.
Okay.
Not so much. Boy who was buried outside in the courtyard. He was a gypsy boy.
Okay.
And he had been killed, and the family wanted him buried there. And so they didn't really get a whole lot of hits on that, except for the crickets. Crickets are very big in the Romany tradition. So I pointed out the crickets that were right there by his grave.
Okay.
But then we moved into the room that to be staying in that night, and had everybody in there, and then they started speaking in Spanish to the little boy, and that's when the flashlight started flashing, and we got all sorts of information. It was kind of amazing.
That is so cool. Yeah, that is so cool. Yeah, and I love that would give me the goosebumps and everything because it's like, well, of course they don't know English. They didn't know English when they were in the part of the living. Why would they pick it up in their afterlife?
Right.
They're not the center of your movie. You got to remember that. But that is so cool. So I got to guess, does that kind of inspire you to want to do some more of those kind of things on your own too, and kind of maybe spread your wings on some other investigations and stuff?
Well, right now I'm working on contracted for another one. I just finished haunted courthouses and jails.
Okay.
And now I'm working on haunted restaurants and bars, which the research on that is going to be grueling. I just don't know. Yeah. I just don't know if I can make it through, but I'll persevere.
I've watched enough of these ghost adventure shows and things to kind of know that you generally get the best results in places that unfortunately had the most trauma or most death. That's why they go to hospitals and asylums and prisons and Old West bars where gunfights and bar fights and things happen, because unfortunately that's I don't know how this afterlife stuff works, but I don't know if they leave imprints or they're stuck in some kind of void between the one region and I have no idea, but whatever it is, it always seems to gravitate at places of trauma or sadness like that. Just
right.
Yeah, and then of course, if you want to get into demons and afterlife, and they open portals and things, and that's a whole nother conversation there. And I don't know. I don't know what's true. We can have those debates all day on that one. But all of it seems to gravitate towards hospitals, prisons, and places like that. That's all I
know. Yes. Places of misery.
Yes, where trauma has happened, battlefields, and things like that. So, but. So John, for this latest one, what did you do for like you said? Was it really just collections of kind of things that kind of came to the historical side? You said, these need more research, some more digging, and that's really how this spawned this book. Is just said, I'm gonna take some time and do a little digging on some of these things that have come across the archive facility.
Yeah, and some of it was just emphasizing things that had never been emphasized before. Like Donna will appreciate this. The Jones family is very prominent in Eddy County.
Okay.
Some of the first settlers, they're very famous, but people don't realize the Joneses helped run the Roswell store in the very early days.
Okay.
Around the time of Captain Lee. So, so the Joneses have their own unique history here in Roswell. I did a chapter on that. Did a chapter on how maybe the bullet that killed Billy the Kid was bought in Roswell.
Really?
Yeah. So there's, I tried to make this book really appeal to our ranching families and our ranching heritage. And then I also have a chapter on the more famous old timers to live in the Chihuahuita district.
Okay.
So I tried to get a little bit of everything in there. So there's a lot of ranching history. There's a few ghost stories like La Llorona at the Oasis Ranch in East Grand Plains. So it's just a lot of different stuff.
When you do these kinds of things, do you find a lot of some of the relatives of some of these families in these stories still have, establishments and some like when you hear some of these stories of Chihuahua and the ranch, they're like, is there a few descendants still living in the neighborhood there?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, now here's a really cool thing I found in our archive building.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a really prominent writer here in the 1930s named Georgia Redfield. It was Sidney Redfield's wife.
Okay.
She did a lot of writing for the Federal Writers Project, and we've kind of forgotten about her. But she made a huge impact on our local history. I think this is so cool. Georgia Redfield wrote a film. She wrote a movie that never got made, and we have the treatment for it in our archives.
Oh, wow.
And I read it and just kind of summarized it. So I've got a chapter on Georgia Redfield's unmade movie about New Mexico, which is just really cool. And, it's too bad it never got made, but she did talk to producers in Hollywood. And I don't think that's ever been written about that I know of. I'm not sure.
That's awesome. And what I love about this, and both of you do this here, is quite frankly, if you guys didn't kind of do your digging on some of these quote, lost pieces of history or information, like I feel like you guys are keeping it alive. Like okay, now like some of these stories about the movies and things that were, odds are if that something didn't turn up in the archive facility, it would have been forgotten, and all the people that would have been remotely involved to it are no longer with us, and it was just lost to time. But because you found that piece of history, now you kind of almost put it in a form where the next generation can do it. And so it kind of keeps that baton going. And I think both you and Donna do that in your books when you turn over these things that really would. And to be honest, you found them when you did, because if you didn't find it, odds are pretty good that no one else would have found it, and we would have really forgotten it. But now there's a chance that you've got it in your books, and so maybe sometime later some young person's going to stumble across and they see it in your book, and you know what I mean? That's I feel like you're keeping the trail going for the next generation of history hunters.
Well, and it keeps our predecessors alive. Like I always appreciated Morgan Nelson. Morgan wrote really what should be books that never went published, and I read a big paper he wrote on the conquistadors exploring Chaves County, obviously before it was Chaves County.
Sure.
And, I read it and I quote from Morgan. So
their
Morgan's
maps didn't say that when they were walking around.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, hey, how did it? But that's the part too that, and this is where I have an appreciation, because I'm not from New Mexico. I grew up in the East Coast. I grew up in Maryland, and of course, a view of history there is a little different than here, because we got it's the founding of America is so much more prominent in that history in where I live. And so you kind of think, when you look at history there, it starts in the 1600s or whatever, and when your first Jamestown settlements and these things started cropping up, your Plymouth Rocks and all of that. And it just makes me appreciate more now that I'm out here in New Mexico, and it's kind of like, oh yeah, that's cute. Pilgrims, hold on, beer, all these conquistadors. You know what I mean? It was really like, it just puts history in perspective, because you grow up on the East Coast and you have this, you go in school and you're taught, and then you come out here and it's like, yeah, history did continue before the things you learned, and this is, you know what I mean? And so I love that you guys continue that tradition, show the next generations of that stuff, and hopefully inspire people to continue to do what you do, and more to do that, because if you want to fix the problems of today, study history. Mm-hmm. History has all the answers in it if you just listen. I got so soapboxy, I'm sorry. So I got to ask both of you, because you guys do spend time at Holiday Magic, food-wise, of the things that are going to be here on Saturday the 23rd. For me, it's always pumpkin rolls. I'm not even a pumpkin fan, but I will I will do mean things to people to get pumpkin rolls. I will say that. Is there a go-to for you guys? Donna, John, do you have a favorite?
Donna, you first.
Oh, anything. I'm not picky.
If it's
they
sweet,
have
then you'll
some
take
great
it.
hot chocolate. Those pumpkin rolls are fantastic, and anything that she makes is fantastic. I go by and just kind of drool every time.
Yeah.
It's kind of embarrassing, but yes, anything. I
imagine sticking to diets in the Lucas family is very difficult. Just
Oh,
going on a hunch there. John, do you have a go-to?
I just like Debbie's cookies, and I do want to say this was put together very last minute.
Sure.
This was like literally 2 weeks of prep. That's it.
Well, like you said, this is on the fly, and literally they're just saying, hey, we got some people that, maybe we can help them out a little bit. How can we do this? And this event spawned.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, in a perfect world, what would have been nice is like a crawl of different venues where you do all of Holiday Magic spread out, in lack of the Civic Center.
Yeah.
But it was literally 2 weeks prep. We got who we got. It's done. We have limited space,
Sure.
but they're doing it at the Liberty the weekend after.
Oh, good. So you can kind of get a round two there.
Yeah,
too.
so
I
a lot
didn't
of
know about that one. So I'm glad
there
that's
will
good.
be other Holiday Magic vendors
Excellent.
at the Liberty.
So if you don't see some of them on the 23rd, come the next week, and you might catch them out at the Liberty. Excellent. Thanks for telling me that. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So very good. But round one will be at the Historical Society here on November 23rd. It's going to be from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. So now it is, handmade, items and things. Just like the Holiday Magic Arts and Crafts Show, the early bird gets the worm.
Yeah.
So if you're hunting for something specific, you might want to be there at 10. Because if you show up at 3 or 4, it might be gone by then. So if you are hunting for something particular, you might want to be there when doors open at 10. But if you're just there to just kind of browse and you want to chit-chat with Donna or John or both, or do some book shopping or art shopping or anything else, anytime between 10 and 4, you can come on down to the Archives facility. Again, 208 North Lee Street. It's there's a parking lot. You'll see the J.P. White home. You'll see the Archive facility. There's a parking lot right in between. You just park right in there and head on into the Archives facility, and they'll be parking. Like if that gets full, there's usually parking across the street there. You can pop into as well too. So, and in the alley behind the Archives, you can park there too. So, good deal. Is there anything that you guys want to mention on your books? Anything you like? What's up next? Like I know Donna. What do you like? You're working more on the some ghost stuff. Do you have another one in kind of right now, or are you still working on the fiction works?
No, I'm working on a bunch of stuff. I'm very ADD, just go from one to the other. But I'm putting together a kind of a biography, along the lines of the tall tales and half truths of Bronco Sue, because she's quite a character, and she deserves her own book. And I haven't got a contract for that one yet, so I think I'm just going to do that one on my own. But it's writing itself, actually.
Excellent.
So I might have it finished before I have the other one finished.
So it's kind of like whichever the kind of your whatever fights in the wind for what you feel like doing at that moment, kind of thing.
Exactly.
I gotcha. But there's always something. So.
There's
John,
always something.
John, what are you working on right now? What's your after you got this one? I know you always got an iron in the fire. What's currently in the fire?
I think the next one to come out, Noe Torres and I are doing a book on haunted trains.
Okay.
Yeah. Supernatural train stories.
Hey, maybe we get the model railroaders to partner up, and we could do a whole thing in there or something. Maybe ghost train theme something there. Very good. Well, thank you guys very much for coming. I just got my 10-minute warning on volleyball, so perfect timing. We're about to go to volleyball here in just a few minutes. So, but again, folks, mark it on your calendars. Holiday with Friends is happening at the Archives facility here on November 23rd from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., 208 North Lee Street. Come out for Deborah Lucas's amazing sweets and treats and amazing other artists and crafters that are going to be there at the event as well. And then, like we said, next weekend they're going to do it all over again with some of the other vendors at the Liberty. Please make plans to attend that as well, too. So that'd be a good thing. So thank you guys. Do we get it all? Anything we missed?
I think we got it. Yeah.
Awesome.
I think we got it.
Very good. Donna, well,
Thank you.
Great to talk to you again. And next time you're in town, pop on in for a visit. Love to see you.
Will do. Thank you, too.
All right. Thank you, Donna. And thank you, John. We'll see you next time. All right?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. That was John and Donna here. It is a 9:47. I just got word from Kelly. They're about 10 minutes out from starting volleyball up there. So let's do this. We're going to pause for news, and then we're going to take a quick commercial break. And then on the other side of that, we're going to bring you volleyball action. So that's going to do it for today's show. Thank you so much for allowing us to be a part of it. News, quick break, and then we're going to take you to volleyball. Have an amazing day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Now, your Pecos Valley news update. I'm Jared Cirillo. A disaster recovery center operated by the state of New Mexico and FEMA is opening now to help New Mexicans affected by the severe storms and flooding. The DRC opening at Roswell Mall, 4501 North Main Street in Roswell in Chavez County. It's right next to the Bath & Body Works store. The center will be open from 10 to 7 weekdays and 10 to 5 on Saturdays, closed on Sundays. Residents and business owners in Chavez County can visit the center and apply for FEMA help, upload any documents, learn about available resources, and get their questions answered in person.